I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
Paulie is the batter. He is 0 for 2 in the walk. That one's out towards center. This should do it. Backpedaling is Bader. He'll make the catch. And the ball game is over. The Phillies have won another series. One more to go in the regular season. They win it tonight by a final score of 1-0. It's their 9th straight home series win.
There's still a chance that I get my final call. Welcome in, everyone, to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. No Trevor today. Trevor is on assignment, I'm going to say. He's just having fun. He's on his way to Dallas for the game, Packers-Cowboys. But I am not alone. I'm joined with an old friend, Mitch Thunder Nellis. Hey, buddy.
What's going on, man? You can tell that by the color of my hair. You know, in radio, there is more than one royal family.
Yes.
Just like in wrestling.
Although none of them are here currently.
None of them are here today.
But there are many royal families in radio.
Yes, there are. Just like there are in pro wrestling. Thank you, Cody, and the American Nightmare.
A lot of great stuff we're going to get to on today's show, and we want you to be a part of it. Join us on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line 414-677-1250. Then again, 414-677-1250. You can, of course, also watch us on the YouTubes, as we'll be doing
Love the YouTubes.
Yes, at The Fan Milwaukee. Join us on Twitter at The Fan Milwaukee. You can get us as well at me, at On Air Josh, and at Thunder MKE.
Love the YouTubes. Also love the inner ear tubes for when my girls were younger and they had ear infections.
It's funny
you
say
get
that.
the tubes put in and no more ear infections. It's amazing. I love science.
Okay.
Am I allowed
I'm
to say that? I don't even know.
not a huge fan of the tubes.
Oh, really?
I mean, listen, I guess I'm glad that they exist for what they do.
Yeah.
But the
Ear
fact that
infections are the worst.
you pay to put the tubes in the baby,
Right.
and then they can just sometimes not work.
Right. Yeah.
And then you do
Ours
it again.
worked. Ours
You
worked
talk
great.
about science. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, thank God for
Yeah.
science. And then it's like, this is what we have, 2025. It's maybe
Yeah.
it works. I don't know.
Right,
If not, we'll just do it again.
You're saying we
What?
should have better.
Yes.
Yes.
Give me tubes that work. All right,
Fair.
this is going to, if people are used to me getting hot and heated, it's,
yeah.
I mean, Thunder's got me there already
Let's
about
go. Let's
inner
go.
ear tubes at, 4 minutes into the show. Definitely not something I had planned. All right, if you watched any baseball yesterday, you know that the game almost didn't finish between the Marlins and the Phillies, but it did.
Yeah, there were multiple rain delays,
Yes.
and it was like I kept checking. 4th inning, rain delay. 8th inning, rain delay.
Yeah.
Can we just
Put a roof
can
on
Philly
it?
just lose? Like that's what I was thinking
Well,
last night.
but
Because if Philly loses, I had champagne, I had
No.
bourbon,
No.
I had beer, I had other stuff
Listen.
ready to celebrate.
Listen, I am so glad, and this is the only time you'll hear me say this.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
I'm so glad that the Phillies won last night.
I mean, I'm not glad, but I hear what you're saying.
Because even if, right, so if you're first time just listening to this, because you're like, oh, I love Mitch Thunder Nellis, and I know that he's going to be on Inside Wisconsin Sports tomorrow. I usually just listen to it on the Mason Crosby Show from noon to 2 here on the Fan.
Yeah.
You would have missed the fact that I really want a call, an exciting call to end this season, that the
Like
regular
a
season.
clinching
I mean,
call.
I also want one for the postseason, right?
course
But
we
I
do.
know
Of
that the
course we do.
postseason one, if it's going to be a final call, it's going to be a World Series call.
Yeah.
For that to happen, they need to not back into the next step.
Right,
they backed in
I hear you.
to winning the division, this being, of course, the Brewers. And
So
this,
the
with
Brewers play at 7:10 tonight. Zach Littell, Quinn
Correct.
Priester, and Philly plays at 5:45. So you could again
get it back in.
However, but it'll be during the game.
Right. So this is way different. They'll still make the announcement right, during the Brewers
so
game
if you're
tonight.
the Brewers, do you just walk off the field? Like 6th inning, Philly loses to the Twins. Do you just forfeit the rest of the game? Say like, nope, we're popping champagne
Well,
now.
according to a lot of people, they already did that.
Serve champagne throughout AmFam Field in the 6th inning. Just say, forget it. We're done. Game over. You know what? Cincinnati, we're forfeiting. We're giving you a win so you can have a win in the wild card race that you're involved in. We're done.
I hate
We are
everything about what
partying
you're
all
saying.
night.
I hate all of that.
I love partying though.
Yes, partying's fine.
Okay.
Here's why I'm glad that if it had to be, if I'm still going to back into it, at least we're backing into it where the team is playing. The fans are going to be at American Family Field.
Nuts.
If the Marlins find a way to score 2 runs yesterday,
they
would have made it to where then there's nothing. There's literally
no one's
nothing.
at the park.
No one's there. No one's in the locker room. No one's in a locker room.
Popping bottles. I don't know if they're popping bottles. This
I don't think they'll pop bottles.
This one feels more like a champagne toast, if anything, kind of like they did when they won the division.
Because they're not winning anything.
Right
today.
You know why? Because a smart man once said they're not done yet.
That's true. They're not done yet.
That's you, Josh. You're the
thank
smart
you.
man,
I appreciate that.
And so that's what we need to like. That would be. You're right. It would be. It's even more if Philly wins today, and then the Brewers win tonight. And then the call is Brewers win. They clinch the best record in all of Major League Baseball. That happens when the final out hit happens in the 9th. If the Twins were to beat Philly and because the game starts an hour and 15 minutes before the Brewers, we'll know in the 5th inning, 6th inning, 7th inning, whatever that might be. But there's still cause for celebration. The fans, the buzz at AmFam tonight will be real. And so there will be that opportunity to celebrate that. And then regardless of what happens after the game, I would say if that happens, I still want the Brewers to win tonight.
Of course.
But I'm saying like even more than just like generically saying I want the Brewers to win. I don't want the Brewers to back into it and then lose and then be like, oh, we lost.
You mean like they did to clinch the division?
Right. The Reds are all high-fiving on the field, but the Brewers go into the clubhouse and celebrate. It's like, yeah, but we just lost the game. Like, let's have happy. Let's stack successes, as our old friend Mike McCarthy would say. We're going to stack successes. Yes. We got to be accountable and available and all that stuff.
Yes, I mean that is the ideal situation.
Yeah.
Now, some people that are pessimists, not realists, pessimists, would say, but don't you just need to make sure that you get the win? You're worrying so much about this call, Josh. What about if the Phillies win and the Brewers lose tonight? Then there's a chance that the Brewers could lose the last 2 games of the season and the Phillies could win the last 2 games of the season. And then the Brewers might not even be that number 1 seed. Shouldn't that be the main thing? It doesn't matter if they back in, just that I'm sitting here and I'm telling you, Mitch, I can't get over being okay with the 2 seed. I'm almost positive it's not going to happen.
Right.
But if it did, I'm still not like terribly upset.
So, you know what's funny about this is if you had asked me a week ago, I don't care. 1 or 2, you got the bye. It's all fine. I think the fact that you have a magic number of 1 with 4 games to go feels like something is sad if you don't get to that number. Like if the magic number right now is 3, like that's hard. That could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a could go either way situation. This is you need to lose 3 and they need to win 3, which are both hard to do in baseball.
Correct.
So I agree with you. Like they should end up with the 1 seed. So they should be able to get a win this weekend. Philly should be able to get a loss this weekend. At the end of the day, it shouldn't end up mattering. They should get the 1 seed. So but because we have that magic number of 1 with 3 to go, I'm a little more locked into that 1 seed than I was maybe a week ago when I was more thinking how you were. Oh, I don't really care. It could be the 1 seed or the 2 seed. It doesn't really matter. And honestly, it doesn't really matter. The only thing that does scare me a little bit, and I know people keep talking, I keep hearing on every show, on every station,
including
in the community, I just don't want to let them lose to the Cubs. I just don't want. Yes. I get that.
I don't even want to play the Cubs. It's not about losing. I don't even want to play them.
And I'm 1,000% on the other end of that. I 1,000% want to play the Cubs over the Dodgers because the Dodgers pitching is the best in Major League Baseball. And if they get hot, it doesn't matter who they play. They're going to win. So I'd rather beat the Cubs because the Cubs stink. Like the Cubs aren't that good. They're not a good baseball team. They're an okay team right now. So
yes, but they've played good baseball against the Brewers.
They have, but they played good baseball against the Brewers when their pitchers were pitching well. Their pitchers are not pitching well right now. So I'd rather play them right now. I'd rather get that done with. Yeah. Although I don't think they're beating the Padres. Haven't just watched the Padres. I don't even think the Cubs are beating the Padres.
Well, and they might not.
I would bet money on that series. I would go down to the Potawatomi Sportsbook Sunday afternoon or Monday morning or whatever when the odds are set. Then probably by Sunday evening, we'll know what the odds are in that 4-5 series. I would bet on the San Diego Padres to win that series because I think they are a better baseball team than the Chicago Cubs are right now.
The Chicago Cubs losing to the New York Mets yesterday, keeping the Mets as the last seed in the NL postseason.
Did you see the Dansby Swanson catch into the net?
Yes.
That was like that they ended up ruling he was out of play and they gave the Mets a run or something. Like that was kind of weird.
It was weird.
Like it was almost a super heads up play because he caught it and then he tossed it to whoever and like tried not to go into the stands with the ball.
Yes.
But he had already gone into the stands. So the umpires got together. They probably made the right call. But I kind of think like if you make the call diving into the stands,
the catch,
you should get that catch.
Yeah.
Like I know technically you're hitting out of bounds and the ball's not supposed to go out of bounds or
whatever.
whatever.
That just stops players from just going in, up 7 rows. I mean, nothing. You don't care.
Have the Savannah Bananas taught us nothing? You catch a foul ball. No, I don't want fans catching balls. You're right. And you're right. I don't want players going 7 rows up and catching it. But if you're in the field of play and you dive in and you catch the ball before you land, even if your next step is out of play, I want that catch. Because that's exciting for the fans. Let's not make things anti-excitement in a sport that already has enough lack of excitement.
So if you care, if you're super into how this is all going to play out, you would know that Cubs loss still makes things interesting, as it is going to be the Cubs and Padres, but we still don't know where
right. Mm-hmm.
those games are going to take place, as they're going to fight that out in their last 3 games.
I don't know who has the tiebreaker there, but the Cubs either have a 1 or a 2 magic number over the Padres for that series. They're 2 games up with 3 to go. And who are they playing? Who are the Cubs and Padres? I mean, I know we're everything is only relevant as it pertains to the Milwaukee Brewers, of course.
Correct.
The Cubs are home against the Cardinals, and the Padres are home against the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are 2 out of the wild card. They are still alive. I mean,
yes, they are.
They have 2 teams ahead of them, so Diamondbacks are probably not going to make it. But with a guy like Zach Gallen on the mound tonight, anything could happen. There's still some fun playoff races. Did you see 2 of the 3 divisions in the American League have teams tied for first place?
Yes.
The Blue Jays and Yankees tied. And we all know about the Tigers collapse and how the Guardians.
Oh, we're going to get to
like
that. We're going to get to that next
okay.
segment, because I have questions, which is what we do in that segment.
But in general, it's fun when you get to the last weekend and not every race is settled. We've had seasons before where races are settled.
Yes,
and it's boring.
And the reason why this is very, very exciting is because they played 159 games so far.
Did you just do 162 minus? Did you just do math?
I did.
Josh, man,
I know.
That's good for
Trust me, I wasn't even that confident. I did math correctly.
It is still dark.
I was like, please be correct, math. But when you have a season that's that long, and then for it to still come down to the last 3 games, that's exciting. That's the excitement of sports. You can play that many baseball games, and it can still come down to the last 3 games, determining so much. So I appreciate that. That's why I love doing this. I also appreciate the fact that we got people up and texting us on the Nick Law fan talking text line early this morning, 414-677-1250.
That's crazy.
Ryan from the Falls says, take the Phillies out of the equation, just win the game tonight. Right. That is a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going, if it doesn't happen, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing that I want people to know, is that if the Brewers don't win, I'm okay with it. As long as the Phillies also win.
Okay.
Phillies, I don't want same thing. I don't want to back in with the loss. Like you said, I don't want it to be like the division clincher all over again.
Right.
Although at least this time, if it happens, we're at home.
Right. Yeah.
We're not ruining the Cardinals away locker room.
No.
It's,
Though we
ruining
have
our home locker room.
and I say we as Brewers fans,
Yes.
we have celebrated in St. Louis before, and it's always nice. As bad as the Cardinals may now be, it's always nice to have a little celebration in St. Louis because of the years of torment.
Yes,
under
my least favorite sports team.
La Russa and Molina. I mean, all you have to say is La Russa and Molina, and we all throw up in our mouths.
Yeah.
We all have terrible memories.
Yes.
And we're all glad that St. Louis is where they are today.
We have a very exciting show, and we hope that you are with us the entire time. We're going to have Mo Egger on. He does afternoons on ESPN 1530 in Cincinnati. We're going to have him on at 7:40.
The Dirty Natty.
And
does he have Skyline Chili for breakfast, do you think? Or is that
I don't know. His bio says that he loves Skyline Chili. I'm a big chili fan. Also, never had Skyline Chili.
Never been?
No.
Have you ever been to Cincinnati?
Yes.
Okay. What failed? Or were you 6 at the time?
I don't know. I don't know exactly how old I was, but I wasn't chili loving age.
Got it. Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
You can determine what chili loving age is, but I was not that.
There needs to be like an Albrecht Nellis mess around in Cincinnati. Like we should go to Cincinnati for a weekend series.
Just for chili?
Well, we'll go
because I've seen a game there. There are plenty of other places I haven't seen games.
All right,
like I could have gone to Detroit and seen their collapse, but we're going to talk about that.
What are you going to get
in
there?
A little
Little
bit.
Caesars?
Maybe
you don't need to get a Little Caesars pizza, bro.
Yeah, but I heard it's different in Detroit.
Well, that's like Jets Pizza, or
yeah. We're also going to have Andy Herman from Pack a Day Podcast on at 8:25.
He is the absolute best.
Yep, love Andy. Going to get ready for that matchup against Dallas, which will be Sunday night. Which is why, of course, you're also not hearing the beautiful voice of the 6'8", bald and beautiful Trevor
6'8"
Thomas, who is with his family on his way down there right now to Dallas as they get ready for Sunday night. I don't know what he's doing this whole time, leading up to it too. I didn't want to give him a bunch of crap about it because it's his life and he can take vacation. He can do whatever he wants.
Sure,
but the game's Sunday night.
What's he doing?
What's he doing this afternoon? Well, you know what I mean?
I do know.
What do you do in Dallas?
Well, Saturday he's probably going to the Chicken and Pickle. So there's there's a Packers fan party in Grand Prairie, Texas, which I assume is around there, at the Chicken and Pickle that's happening at 4:00 on Saturday. Packers Everywhere, which is an organization the Packers run. They have an MC. Rebecca will be there. There'll be a local DJ. Marco Rivera and Bubba Franks will be there. And then Wes Hod and Mike Spoff will be there. And John Kuhn is going to be there as well. Our very own John Kuhn.
I was going to say, I've heard of him. I think he does radio here from 9 to noon.
He's on his show today and then traveling sometime this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
Right. So,
Trevor,
I'm just saying.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is
so if you're going to Dallas today or tomorrow, get to the Chicken and Pickle. And
Chicken and Pickle,
which sounds amazing to me.
I know
like
we have a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Right. I know we have a friend who loves pickles, but I feel like I love pickles before he did. Just saying.
I don't know if that's true. I have a story for everyone that is thinking, I don't know, Mitch and Josh sound like they've done radio together before.
What? No,
that we're going to get
Not
to.
true.
I'm going to explain that. And more importantly, Mitch, I have questions.
I mean, it wouldn't be a day that ends with why if you didn't.
And we do our segment, I Have Questions, when we come back on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Maybe I don't. Welcome back, everyone, to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Josh Albrecht here. Mitch Thundernellis filling in, helping me out today, as Trevor Thomas is on a plane. And I think it's worth noting, listening. I don't want any excuses from people of, oh, how do I listen to your show? Oh, I don't know. Trevor says, first of all, love you too, by me calling him out about not being here. He says, signed his name, Trevor in the air, but not on the air.
Oh,
I said, are you listening
clever
on
Trevor.
the plane? He said, yup. And tell Mitch I'm flying today because I wasn't blessed to be on a morning show when we booked a long weekend. And yes, he will be at Chicken and Pickle tomorrow night too. But as a buzzed up fan, not a dude in the quote media. He is very
I love that.
anti being media. He wants everyone to know.
I think there's a fine balance. Yeah, I think there's a fine balance between being member of the media and being a fan. And I think for the most part, radio personalities are absolutely fans, where maybe beat writers and stuff like that, or if you're with the team every single day, you're media. But if you're like I'll go to a Brewer game a week. I go, this year I went to all the home day games because it worked with the family, it worked with the schedule as a member of the media. I did not go as a fan. I went I went to the Pat Murphy press conference and into the locker room. And I think that's fully appropriate. But you tell me if I can go as a member of the media or I can have tickets and go and scream my head off. Well, I mean, for those of you who know me, I'm going to, as I posted last night on Facebook, a picture of the two of us at a playoff game. I don't know if that was 18 or 19.
That was 18.
That was 18.
That was, I think, taken before the Brandon Woodruff home run.
Absolutely. Yep. That was game one of the NLCS. Woodruff off Kershaw. Unbelievable. And I love being a fan. So I love that for Trevor. And as you've known this for years, but Tommy has only known this recently, and Mason's only known this recently. I pretty much take every conversation back to food. I love food.
You do love food.
And I don't, so I want a full report. I don't care what Trevor does in Dallas. I don't care what he does at the game. I just want a full report from Chicken and Pickle. Like, is it chicken marinated in pickle brine? So it's like chicken, it's pickle infused chicken.
I want social media done. I mean, we'll talk about it when Trevor comes back, but of course, I want to see some digital assets from Mr. Trevor when he is down there. You just brought up, that Mason Crosby and Tommy haven't necessarily learned this about you yet, that they're learning about it.
But they're learning,
Yes. Those guys, of course, are the guys that you do a show with on our all-new lineup.
Yes.
In case you didn't know, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., that's what you're listening to now, is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Truth.
And then we have 9 to noon with John Kuhn. I've heard of him. And Rami Makloff. And then, as I just mentioned, the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thundernellis, presented by Verizon, is from noon to 2. 2 to 5, you're already familiar with that. That's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's with Sparky. And then 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. is the fan postgame show with Tommy. Tommy coming back and doing the postgame.
Except I feel like that's going to get more into effect after the Brewers season because we have so many leadoff shows because we do a Brewers leadoff show. So Sparky does a show with Charlie.
Yes,
and you met Charlie.
Yes, Charlie's great. Love Charlie.
I call Charlie. We have 700 different nicknames for Tommy. Every day he gets a new nickname. Charlie, every day I call him the Gentle Giant. I've decided he's the Gentle Giant.
He is.
Because he's 6'3". He played offensive line in college.
He's so kind.
And he's so kind. He's like such a
good-hearted. The thing is, no one here really, like...
You just don't know anybody.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hopefully it stays that way.
Mason's the worst. No, just kidding. Love Mason.
I have questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
And in this segment, that's what we do. We have questions, and I have questions. And my first one is, am I not appreciating the narrative of this Milwaukee Brewers team enough? Is it possible to appreciate enough? And here's when I realized that.
Okay.
I'm watching the Detroit Tigers play the Cleveland Guardians
Yes.
in a game that absolutely should not have mattered for making the decision on that division
Right.
and who wins it. It should not have.
Right.
An
The
epic
division
collapse.
Right. A month ago, the division was over.
It was completely over.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Tigers were way more ahead than the Brewers ever were.
Yeah. They were
in
like
the
11,
Central.
12
I
up.
mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And then they actually lost it at one point to Cleveland. Cleveland ended up being in first in the division.
And technically, they're tied right now, but Cleveland does have the tiebreaker.
And Cleveland has the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And so that is, unfortunately, for the Detroit Tigers, that's the narrative they have. Then I was looking at Seattle and the amazing
big
run that Seattle has had with the big dumper and this historic
I relate.
Run that they're having and his 60 home runs that he hit this season. And I'm like, there are all these other narratives around the MLB that I'm not focused on because they're not my team.
Of course.
Right? The Brewers are my team.
That's how fandom works.
But because of that, am I not appreciating what the Brewers narrative gets to be enough? And the reason why I say that, is because I'm still so worried and frustrated about years past and what's going to happen in the postseason to where I feel like if we would have done it 2 years ago, if we would have done it in 2011, if we would have done it in 2018, maybe I'm not as bitter and focused solely on the postseason play, but I feel like I'm so focused on that, so focused on who the Brewers are going to play, how they're going to play, that I'm not truly appreciating enough this narrative.
Okay, so I'm going to back you up. Beep, beep, beep. Just one second. What do you think the Brewers narrative is? And here's my question. As Brewers fans, as people, whether we're fans or media or radio or newspaper or bloggers or podcasters or just like casual, like checking out the score every morning, this team, and we talked about this a little bit. We had Pat Murphy on when I was doing the midday show, last week.
That was a wonderful interview.
We talked about how there are so many storylines with this team that it's almost hard to have a central narrative with this team because of all the different aspects. Before Woodruff got hurt, Woodruff's come back. You could talk about Durbin and Collins. You could talk about Quinn Priester coming out of nowhere, Christian Yelich's reclamation, Bryce Terang becoming one of the best power hitters in the league through August, Andrew Vaughn. I mean, there's so many different stories that I don't know big picture-wise. Is the narrative just that they got good at the end of May, figured something out at 21 and 25, and then became the best team in baseball the rest of the way? Like that's the overarching. But what is the story this year?
You title it as the power of friendship.
Yes.
Right. That's there's quirks. And when you go back to 2018 and 2011, you had beast mode and all of those things. Like every team had something, but the power of and you can look at this as with the pocket pancakes and everything else that happened, but
which are happening right now, by the way,
which we're going to get to in our morning mind dump. Stay tuned for that. But when you look at this team, and I feel like you can't see the forest because the trees are in the way.
Yeah.
You're too focused on the individual trees to realize that really all of it comes back to a team that was doubted. Of a lot of people that no one knew. All playing for each other to win a lot of baseball games. That's how I would define this season. My whole argument here against myself, really, my question is, am I appreciating that narrative enough? Because in 3 games, it's over, right? In 3 games, that narrative's over. To me, the narrative still changes once you get to the postseason. The attitude, the atmosphere, the aura, everything changes. We have watched playoff baseball together. You have seen me watch playoff baseball. It is every pitch is okay. All right. All right. There's one. Let's go. Every single pitch. You're not doing that at any point during the regular season for the most part.
Generally not. Yeah, that's fair.
So it all changes. And I'm looking at the rest of the MLB. As we talked about, this is a beautiful time for people who enjoy sports and enjoy baseball because there's still so much on the line after so many injuries, so many ups and downs for every team that's still in a hunt. And all of it coming down, the storylines are so great. And it just made me take a step back and go, am I appreciating our story enough?
All right. So can you appreciate it now then? It's the final weekend of the regular season. The Brewers have the best record in Major League Baseball. They're 2 games up on Philly.
Yep.
The magic number's 1 to clinch that. Do you have time this weekend? And while the wild card rounds are going, we can sit back and watch the Cubs and Padres play to see who's going to play the Brewers. That's the most likely scenario. Sure, it could be different, but do we have time over the next 3 days, plus the next 3 days after that, before we get to what it is, Saturday the 1st?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have time over the next 8 days to celebrate that narrative and to enjoy and to somehow separate the nervousness that we feel for the playoffs
exactly
with the joy that we have felt over this entire regular season? Because we're about to have 8 days to allow us to have that moment of taking a deep breath and appreciating.
I don't know that I will, once the season is done.
Yep.
I don't know that I'll be able to, the regular season, I should say, to reminisce and enjoy and be calm. The second that ends and
Sunday,
it is set,
5 p.m.
I am
Sunday 5
I
p.m.
am all in on watching wild card baseball, figuring out what are the Brewers going to do, what's the lineup, give me injury updates, I'm immediately in and focused on postseason baseball, which is why I'm sitting here going, I only have 3 days left,
right,
to enjoy this magical run that the Brewers have been on. Now, here's if I'm, in my own head, because I like to have all these conversations in my own head as well.
True.
Of kind of defending.
It's Saturday the 4th, by the way.
Okay. Defending myself and saying, as a Brewers fan, you're not going to, at least in my mind, for me, you're still going to be upset with the downs and then be happy with the ups, right? So maybe I did appreciate it enough, and I still just don't. I wanted to appreciate it more, but maybe that wasn't possible. Maybe it's just, it wasn't possible for me to appreciate more than I have. I don't know, but I feel like I'm looking at all these other storylines and I'm going, our narrative's pretty damn good.
I think I think you're not giving yourself enough credit. I think you have appreciated it. And I think we as a collective Brewers fans have appreciated it. It's harder to appreciate it when you're in the middle of it. Like, it's easier for you to sit back and say, oh, this is what happened in Detroit, because you can look at it without the emotions, without the feelings,
correct,
without the day-to-day, because you're not, kind of like you started the conversation about how you can't see the forest for the trees because we're so busy looking at each individual tree, each individual raisin in the trail mix of the Brewers season that we haven't been able to appreciate. But I think that's part of the appreciation of watching your team play baseball, is that you are paying attention, whether it's all 162 or whether you missed a random game in July because your kid had a little league game or your baby has spit up all over and you missed a couple innings or whatever it might be. Like, I think that you're allowed to give yourself that grace of, yes, there's appreciation. And with 3 games left, I can see what's happening with the Yankees, and the Yankees just got hot and they might win the whole American League. Like, they caught the Blue Jays, like, and that's great. I hate the Yankees, but that's great for Yankees fan or whatever. I can see that bigger picture. I'm not looking at the bigger picture of the Brewers right now because I'm so invested in every pitch. Like, I don't know the nuances of who's pitching in the 6th inning for the Yankees or the Guardians or even the Dodgers.
Because you're in it.
I know. Like, I'm trying to figure out, is it Mears or is Tobias Myers going to get a shot, or is Chad Patrick going to the bullpen? What are they doing with Miz? All those sorts of things. Because I'm so invested in this team, you're naturally not going to have the same appreciation, but the appreciation is already part of you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And I think you're probably right. And there are some factors that play into this. The fact that they did clinch the division as early as they did, right? It denies the mind of a sports fan this atmosphere that a lot of these teams have in the last 3 games, but that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. So you still have to be happy and satisfied with the fact that, they don't necessarily have a ton to play for down the stretch here, because it should give them time to get ready and be ready for the postseason.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a fair way to look at it. And by the way, when I said Sunday at 5 o'clock, like it all changes because we're looking at the playoffs. I don't know if you know this or not. We also have a football game to think about Sunday night.
Yes, we do.
So like we will go. I think from Sunday at the end of the season, we will then go straight to that football game, and then Monday we will know what the wild card matchup is. We will also have everything from the Packers Cowboys game. Monday's going to be crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
Monday, like I don't want Monday to get here because I want to enjoy the weekend.
Yeah.
But I'm already looking forward to Monday. But I want Monday to stay as far away as possible. Does that make sense?
Yes, but when Monday gets here, it'll be a celebration.
Yes.
No, I agree.
Yes.
I agree. No, and we're very lucky too that we get to end the regular season and celebrate still at home instead of on the road. Although, speaking of being on the road, Sparky's going to be on the road. You can join the Wisconsin Sports Weekend Show and Steve Sparky Pfeiffer broadcasting live from the Milwaukee area Napa Car Care Fair this Saturday morning from 9 to 11. The first 50 cars receive a coupon for a free oil change. You can win prizes like a new set of hand-cooked tires, gift cards, movie baskets, and more. Free hot dogs from 10:30 to 12:30. Free vehicle inspections all day long. The Car Care Fair is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Napa Auto Parts Store on 108th in Greenfield. For details, go to thefanmilwaukee.com. All right, coming up next, it is our electrifying sound of the day, and it has a good tie-in to what's going on with this Milwaukee Brewers team. You are listening to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Mitch Thundernellis filling in live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Hey, everybody, want to tell you about my friends from Underdog. Many of you who listen to the Mason Crosby Show know, but I want to let everybody here know as well. We know football season's in full swing. Underdog's the best place to get in all the action. You can make picks and win money right now in Wisconsin. Remember, you just go higher or lower. You use stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and I'm still mixing and matching my baseball players too. So whether it's hits or home runs or strikeouts, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. I'm going big with Bryce Terang all this weekend, and Sunday night, I think Josh Jacobs is going to have a night. So I'm going higher with him. I think they really pound the rock with Josh Jacobs on Sunday Night Football. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code ThunderMKE to score $100 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. $5 to get $100 in bonus funds. That's promo code ThunderMKE. Underdog, make picks, win money, must be 18 and over and present in Wisconsin. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Trevor Thomas out today with the family on his way to Dallas. Going to hang out a little bit in Dallas before watching the Packers and the Cowboys in Jerry World. Mitch Thundernellis, you can hear him from noon to 2 with Mason Crosby on the Mason Crosby Show.
Josh, you ever been to Jerry World?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not. I don't do NFL away games as much as I will an MLB away game.
Yep.
I'm not against it. I don't know. It's not the thing for me.
I have been to Jerry World, but not for a football game. I was there when the Badgers lost to Kentucky in the Final Four.
Gotcha.
Brutal.
Yep.
And actually I was with the old guy Steve, who works across the street. Not your Steve, my Steve.
Yep.
And Big Mike. You remember Big Mike?
Yes.
Big Mike was working for an old company. Actually, so I had media seats like in the 900s, like nosebleeds, and Mike had a suite. And Mike texted me, he's like, "Hey,
was it Micah Parsons' suite?"
It wasn't Micah Parsons' suite, but it was ass sweet, and it was sweet.
Yeah.
So,
I bet it was.
So thanks to Big Mike for hosting us in 2014.
Yeah, very recently were you there?
Yeah. And I have a picture. I got a picture with Andy Katz.
There you go.
Fellow Badger. Yeah.
Mitch, during this segment of the show, we like to play you the most electrifying sound of the day. Here we go.
He swings. High fly right field. Marte all the way back. Leaps at the wall. He caught it! He takes away a game-tying home run! The biggest play from Marte in the outfield. He saves the day.
Woo! That was John Sadek, FanDuel Sports Ohio, play-by-play for the Cincinnati Reds. They were up by one in the top of the ninth. Brian Reynolds hit a bomb, and Marte steals a home run, would have tied the game. Cincinnati gets that win and stays very active in the wild card race. A loss there would have been pretty crippling. You don't want to be down two with, even if you have the tiebreaker,
you don't want to be down two with three to go.
Right. And so they stay. They won in the afternoon. The Mets then won in the evening. But the Mets one game up on the Reds with 3 to go. The Reds do have the wild card, however. So it should be an.
You mean the tiebreaker?
What did I say?
The wild card.
Yeah. The
tiebreaker for the wild card spot.
Yeah.
Is it down to those two teams?
No, the Diamondbacks are still alive barely. The Diamondbacks are
they're in that
back.
2 out of 3 situation.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Diamondbacks basically need to win out and get help. The Reds also have the tiebreaker over the Diamondbacks.
Okay.
So the Reds have, if the Reds finish in any tie, they get the wild card.
So let's keep that in mind, folks, as the Reds are about to play a baseball game against our Milwaukee Brewers. Lots to play for the Cincinnati Reds.
And the winner of that, whoever wins the wild card, will play most likely the Dodgers.
I believe they do play the Dodgers. I thought I saw that the Dodgers with their win clinched.
Yes, because they are 3 up to 3 with 3 to go, and they have they have the tiebreaker over the Padres. That is correct. You got that. Yeah. So they will play the Dodgers. What do you think of? And we saw this obviously with the Brewers last year against the Mets. That the wild card winning team hosts all 3 games. That there's no back end. Now I know, like in a 3-game series, travel's tough.
Yes,
but do you think like the away team should get game 1 and then the home team gets 2 and 3, or are you okay with the home team getting all 3 games?
It's very tough with it being a 3-game series because I feel like the better seeded team should get the first game. But you're not going to have a decisive game 3
1-1-1.
be somewhere else. So you can't have them get the first 2 games and then, because then that's a huge momentum switch.
Yes.
If the third game is randomly played somewhere else and the 1-1-1 is just too crazy.
I think the argument would be the road team gets game 1 and then the home team gets 2 and 3 if necessary.
But that's still,
you're giving too much momentum to the
right. You're giving the first game,
right.
knowing that then they just got to win 1 more.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think it's the only way that it can be done. But that's the other reason why I have been paying such attention to what's happening with the Cubs and the Padres,
Right.
because that race is still very close.
Yes.
And possible, right? What is that?
Now that one's also 2 games with 3 to go.
Okay, so that isn't as close as I thought. Then
Right.
that is pretty much going to happen at Wrigley.
You would think, yeah, unless something goes weird. I mean, the Cubs are playing the Cardinals, and the Cardinals like to, that's a rivalry. The Padres are playing the Diamondbacks. So the Diamondbacks do have something to play for. But if the Padres win tonight, then that's over. Like the Diamondbacks are eliminated.
Correct.
And so then the Diamondbacks may not, may play their young guys the last 2 games. And,
who knows?
And the Padres could catch the Cubs.
Yes.
So,
I really wish that
the beauty of this all is that it's all going to happen. Like we get to watch baseball tonight
and
we
not have to worry about it.
Right. That we're still worried a little bit,
but just for personal reasons.
Right. But I'm saying about like in general for baseball, we're still a little worried about the Brewers. I mean,
yeah. But I'm saying that the outcome of these games aren't going to have a huge effect.
Correct.
On us, which is nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
That's something that we would usually be talking about in our morning mind dump. We have a lot of things to talk about in our morning mind dump, but we want to hear yours too. Right now is a great time. You just had your coffee, you had your morning coffee, did a little bit of stretching.
Oh, yawn, your big yawn.
And it is time for that morning mind dump. Go ahead and text it in right now to the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. That again, 414-677-1250 for your morning mind dump, which is going to be coming up next here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor not on today. He is with his family. He's listening. He's listening on the plane with the Odyssey app.
God bless him.
I don't want to hear for a second that people can't listen to the show. My man's doing it from a plane.
Does he have exit row at least?
I would hope so.
Exit row?
With those legs?
6'8".
Come on. He's got it. There's no way he's stuffed in a window seat.
He doesn't need the headspace though because he's bald. But
see, you throw a lot of shade. I just like to point it out, and then leave it at that.
No,
you hear that, Trevor? I didn't give you shade with that. But the morning mind dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, is coming up next. It is powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome into Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm Josh Albrecht. Trevor Thomas is on a plane, and they are descending. They're descending to Atlanta, him and his family. And so I am joined with my good friend, Mitch Thunder Nellis.
Nothing makes more sense to me, Josh, than flying to Dallas through Atlanta from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, anywhere you fly in America, you're going to connect through Atlanta. Like, it doesn't matter.
That's a hub.
You can be flying from Boston to New York. You can be flying from Milwaukee to Chicago.
You got to go to Atlanta first.
You can be flying LA to San Francisco. Nope, got to stop in Atlanta first. I get that Atlanta's a big hub, but make it make sense, please. Hi, Josh.
Hi, buddy. A lot of things don't make sense today, and this is the best time to talk about them in our morning mind dump. So as we said, going into break, this is a segment we like to do. We like to do it at this time every day on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, because it feels just like, all right, you had your coffee, you stretched out, time to just get that off of your plate. Get whatever you off your chest to get going in your day.
Let's go.
And I want to start by giving a shout out to Nick in Greenfield, who is listening live on site from the Brewers Pocket Pancake Breakfast.
Is he there?
Nick in Greenfield, first of all, love you, buddy. Thank you so much. But also,
that's awesome.
He is there, and we're not.
I was going to say, if anybody's there, they should call in.
I think that they should bring us pancakes.
That I agree with as well. The Brewers should, or somebody who's on site.
Both.
Like, if you're Nick in Greenfield, do you think you can sweet talk the Brewers into saying, hey, you've got this going on right now. I've got these guys on the radio who are talking about it. They love the Brewers. They love pancakes. Let's go.
So, Mitch, why don't you go ahead and explain to everyone that isn't there what we are talking about, what the Brewers are doing right now.
Right now, at American Family Field, the Brewers are inviting fans to the postseason Pocket Pancake Breakfast. It's at the parking lot. There's an opportunity to enjoy a pocket pancake with an appearance by Pat Murphy. Snag a pocket pancake t-shirt for the first 3,000 guests. It started at 6, so I don't know if you're still in the first 3,000, but you might be. Let's see. We all know that Murph had pocket pancakes on August 1st when he did it in that game against the Nationals. And so fans can dine. They can also grab some of Murph's Maple, a special syrup that will be available at the breakfast and for purchase with a portion going to charity. Let's see. The Tally-Ho Polka Band is going to be there. So there's 2 ways that you can celebrate right now. It's at the Euchre and Yount parking lots at American Family Field right now. Under the breakfast tent, fans can enjoy a sleeve of complimentary pocket pancakes while taking in tunes again from the Tally-Ho Polka Band and watching artistic creations from pancake artist Dan Cakes.
Ooh.
You might see Donald Driver there. You might see Derek Watt there.
Oh.
You might see former Badgers basketball player Andrew Rohde, and actually Brian Butch might be there as well. Tim Dillard might be there as well. The Racing Sausages. There's also a drive-through setup for those of you who need to get to work, who can't participate in all the fun and all the people going on there. If you are able if you just want to drive through, that's all going on at AmFam right now. And by the way, since we mentioned Brian Butch, just want to give out a shout to Blake. We're all praying for you, buddy.
Yes. Yep. And speedy recovery.
Yes,
for
exactly.
Sure. Yep. But back to the mind dump part of this.
Yeah.
Man, that sucks.
That it's 6 to 9?
Yeah.
How about 5:30 to 9? So we could hit it, or 5:30 to 9:30, or
something specifically selfishly just for me.
Yes.
What,
not even us?
No.
Just you?
Just me. Because
like I'm not here?
Well, because I wouldn't have been surprised if you got here at 6:10. You were like, just take the first segment without me. I'm bringing pancakes.
So I was wondering about if I got on my phone and I did a whole segment driving to AmFam.
Thunder live here from
just calling in. Where do Rami and Brandon drive in from?
I don't know.
Do we need to text them and be like, hey, you guys need to pop by AmFam Field on your way in because we need a live report about pocket pancakes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
and where's Tommy?
Now, here's the other question, getting into specifically with pancakes.
I hope he's still sleeping, by the way. He deserves it.
Pocket pancake. Okay.
Yeah,
First of all,
yeah.
big fan of pancakes. Love them.
Love pancakes.
I like hot and fresh pancakes.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not a huge fan of I've had a pancake sitting in my pocket for an hour. Pancake.
Although, remember body heat. Like it's staying warm-ish.
It's different.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same as right off the griddle. I just found out last night that a friend of mine makes chocolate chip pancakes for her kids every morning for breakfast.
That's insane.
That is ridiculous. Like, who has that type of time and energy?
Like gets the griddle out and makes pancakes.
Yes.
Wow.
Like before school.
Wow.
What are we doing here?
That is commitment.
Yeah,
and I'm not even sure to what.
And I know her kids and they don't deserve it.
Wow.
They're
You just said that on the radio.
Yeah, I did.
I mean,
I'm okay with that.
I'm not gonna go that far. But I was like, man, that kind of stinks.
Yep.
That's the case. The other thing I wanted to include in the mind up was kind of just a little backstory for some people who might be going, okay, so Mitch and Josh Thunder, they seem like they've done radio together before. Well, that's because we kind of have.
What?
So a lot of people might not be aware of this because it was a long, long time ago. I think I'm qualified to say that it was a long time ago.
You can. My hair was still gray because it was always gray.
That's true. You look exactly the same as you did.
I look pretty much the same.
But we actually in a different life,
Yep.
in a different building.
Yes.
Before I was even on the air.
Yeah.
You did a podcast.
You weren't intern Josh anymore.
No, I was.
You were still but I was going to say, were you part-time Josh at the time? You definitely weren't full-time Josh.
No.
Okay.
No, I definitely. I don't even know that I was.
Yeah, we might have started as intern and then transitioned to part-time.
But we did a podcast called the Long Shot Podcast, and with
it was great.
And there was a third man who's not here with us.
Can we say that he is of Armenian descent?
I believe you can.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay.
But that was a lot of fun, and that was like 8 or 9 years ago. We
really that long ago?
It was, and we did a podcast, and it was. We had to record it. In the morning before anyone had to start their day, so it would have been like around the same time as we're doing the show now, and everyone else was you and that other person were so tired and not wanting to do it at all.
Because we weren't used to getting there that early in the morning. I think at the
time. And you were doing it for an unpaid podcast with some guy that you were probably like,
we reran it on the air. We reran it on the air that evening on kind of our sister station.
Yes.
And it was but it was a blast. I mean, we did it for basically a year.
Yeah.
I had a theme song.
By
written
Pat
and performed by Pat McCurdy.
Yep.
Did you write it? Or
No.
did he just
all I did was give him the I don't even think I asked him for it.
Okay.
I just asked him if he wanted to come in for an episode and just would sit in.
Right.
And Pat McCurdy, if you're not aware, is a local musician and also like a staple of Milwaukee. So if you don't know who he is, I'm questioning how long you've lived here.
Although not really a sports guy.
That's true.
Like, I mean, he's he'll cheer for the Brewers and the Packers, but he doesn't know the X's and O's and the Jimmies and the Joes.
Yeah, I feel like he has a general idea.
Yeah.
He's a
I see him biking around all the time.
Do you?
Yeah, because we both live in the same hamlet.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you tell him? You say, "Oh, hey there."
I used to say hi to him. I haven't had a chance to say hi to him in a little while. He sometimes remembers me and sometimes doesn't.
Yeah,
I've danced on stage with him 100 times.
Yeah, he sees a lot of people.
Sex and beer.
Yeah, I mean that's his big.
I like KYK.
But he came in and he literally just like wrote he just started.
Crazy.
He had his guitar with him.
Yeah, of course.
And he was just like,
that's awesome.
Long shots.
Sitting on the radio.
Yeah, it was incredible.
The ladies won't leave him alone.
The whole thing.
It's great.
Incredible.
Great.
So anyway, it's not like this is my first time doing radio with Thunder, but I am appreciative that you are here, pal, and I am appreciative that everyone is joining us.
And do you remember I had you in for a random hour when I was like by myself one day doing, I don't know if I was filling out, I don't know if it was on the Mason Crosby show or I was filling in for Sparky or something.
Yeah.
I was like, you were like, happened to be in the neighborhood.
I was a free agent.
Yep. I was like, hey, Josh, jump in for an hour.
Yeah.
And
there were a lot of people that were like, are you back?
Right. I was like,
and I was like,
slow down.
No,
slow down. We're
not back.
We're working on some things.
Yes. They were working on it.
Yep.
Oh, gosh. I never heard that again.
No. So I have a question about brain dump.
Okay. Yeah, give me your morning mind dump.
Is it everything morning mind dump? Is it sports morning mind dump?
Whatever you need to get off your chest, man.
Wow.
We usually try to keep everything as close to sports as we can here. But if you got to get it off your chest, you got to get rid of that morning mind dump.
All right.
Now's the time.
For those of you who are awake, and maybe we're awake at 6 a.m., maybe we're awake at 5 a.m., I just wonder, like, how do you watch sports? Like that concept of, and you've been a morning guy before, so you know how this works.
I've done this time slot for 6 years.
Yeah, I've never been a regular morning guy. I've done mid mornings, I've done afternoons, I've done afternoon drive for a long time. And I just I've always wondered, like, if I'm on, you start at 6. Sometimes morning shows start at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you I'm listening to the national shows on my way in.
Yep.
And I think Maggie and Perloff we have for an hour on, and some other shows I won't mention. And everybody's talking about the Arizona-Seattle game last night, talking about the football game, talking about some of the baseball wild card races and Cleveland and Detroit and all that sort of thing. And I'm like, do you because when it was 17-3 last night, I went to bed. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I assume this game's going to get closer, but I did have in my underdog picks, I had Arizona to win. So when I saw the score this morning, I was even more bummed. But I wasn't staying up to watch the game. Like at 17-3, if it gets closer, I'll watch the highlights. I'll figure it out. But how do you manage, like, if the Brewers are playing in San Diego or in LA,
sure,
and then do you just be tired that week?
So this is not as complicated as you may think it is.
Okay.
There's 2 outcomes.
All right.
Either one, you commit and you say, I'm watching this. I'm going to be up very late. I'm going to be very tired tomorrow.
I'm staying up
because
till 11 or midnight.
There is no, the game's over, I'm going to bed.
Okay.
I have not, and I've never been able to find out how to see the final pitch, see the clock go down to 0,
shut down,
and then immediately close my eyes, go to bed.
You still have the adrenaline.
You're still up for a half hour.
Yeah.
And so you're either getting, 3 or 4 hours of sleep that night.
Okay.
Or you're saying, nope, I'm watching the replays. I'm watching the highlight packages, the recap packages on YouTube, whatever it may be tomorrow. And that's what you're doing. That's the truth. Those are the only 2 options. And I will tell you, you got to pick and choose those moments when you're saying, I'm going to stay up, because you will get tired. Like, it's just part of this. It's just part of this time slot. You're tired.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you got to be up to welcome everyone else when they're getting up.
Yeah.
You're just not used to this because
it's not my normal.
When Thunder came in this morning, he was like, this is what did you say? Ungodly early in the morning.
What
looks
ungodly
like.
Hours is why is it still dark out?
And what did I say? I said, no, that was an hour and a half ago when I got here.
Right. Yeah.
And you were like, oh, I can't even imagine.
Yep.
That's morning radio.
Yep.
But that's okay.
Fair. I have some more morning mind dump, and I don't know if you want me to go over this now or if we
go ahead. This is the time to do it.
The AmFam, the Brewers are at home this weekend.
Yes, they are.
I believe tonight is Harry Potter night, but it's sold out, so you can't get the Harry Potter package. But
the game is not sold out.
No, the game is not sold out. The Harry Potter packages. But if you go to the game tonight, throwing out the first pitch, I'm really curious to see how this goes. New Bucks center Miles Turner is throwing out the first pitch tonight. Like, all right, do you think it's going to go horribly, or do you think he can hang?
I can't even focus on that. Why is he throwing out the first pitch at Harry Potter night?
Oh, why?
That is the weirdest.
Yeah, why isn't it
combination?
Why isn't it Hermione?
Fan of Harry Potter? Hermione. Is that a thing?
I mean, we all know Brooke Lopez was a fan of Harry Potter because he was a fan of everything Disney, everything like that would have made sense.
I don't.
Maybe they had Brooke to do it, and then when all the changes happened, they just booked Miles, or Miles was available.
Understand. Also, this seems like a weird time to do a theme night because we also
this
talked
is a
off
weird
air.
Time to do a theme night.
Mitch, you'd mentioned that you don't necessarily love the fact that they have nights where the giveaway isn't for everyone.
Right.
It's not even for the first
There's
30,000.
Hogwarts themed beanie. It's sold out. There's Harry Potter themed experiences, and our friends from the Schlitz Audubon will have some of their owls there, which is cool.
So that, but I bet some of that you can just enjoy if you show up.
If you go to section 439 to meet the owls, that's for everybody.
Yes, but the beanie
that's sold out.
You had to buy
the special
package to get that.
I don't love that. I love when there's like, All right, so they're also giving away the magnets today for next year's schedule,
which I don't like. That's my tie into my next one dump.
And you and I dislike that for different reasons. Why don't you like that?
I am not a fan of that because to me, it's the tradition of getting that magnet on opening day.
Yeah.
Why are you
absolutely?
Why are you giving me a giveaway for next season when I'm focused on this season?
Preach.
There was a time when I had to think about next season with Brewers baseball.
I'm sorry. That's tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's the magnet. Same
My point is the same.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I don't want it now. I want it next year.
Yes, correct.
I want to go to the first game on opening day. I want to get 12 magnets because they always have way too many.
Yep.
And I want to stick them everywhere.
Right.
And
like
we go, all right.
We got the 2025 one right. Like as you walk into the producer's booth here, it's
right there.
Yep.
And that's when I want it. I want it at that point, not now.
And here's my issue with it. My issue with it is they have next year's schedule, but they don't have any of the game times. And I want the magnet when the magnet's done because I actually think the Brewers are going to give away a magnet on Saturday without the game times. And they're going to give away out a magnet at opening day when they have all the game times. So I don't need the magnet tomorrow. I need the magnet with all the game times.
Do they have all the game times on the one they give out on opening day? I can't even tell you.
Yeah, yep. They're all on there.
So they're literally making two different magnets on top of it.
Tomorrow night also is Brewers Tumbler presented by Quick Trip.
Ooh, so a lot of promotion for that.
I like that, but it's first 30,000 fans. Why not just make 45,000 of them?
Okay, so this is a completely different argument. Okay, and I love that we're talking about giveaways because I love stuff.
Right,
I'm a hoarder. I love collecting
things. Everybody knows that. Everyone in radio loves free. Josh has taken this to the next level. Yeah. Not just free, but like when the Brewers clinch anything, Josh is at the store.
I'm buying all the gear.
He's buying it. Right.
Right. So it's not even just about getting it for free. I just want everything. I want all the stuff. This idea of the theme night is always disappointing because it's like going into it, it's limited and you have to pay more for it specifically with the ticket. But this whole idea, this thing started with the Bucks, I believe, where when Pfizer Forum opened, their giveaways were to the first 10,000 fans.
Okay.
And I went, why? Why are you now making me also get there 2.5 hours early to guarantee I get my bobblehead?
Well, especially if you got little kids or if you spend,
And so that was the first time I saw it. And I didn't, because with the Brewers, it used to always be all fan giveaway, bobbleheads, all fan, and they made plenty extra that you would also see in, whatever they would use them for, season ticket holder, they would find ways to have extra giveaways and whatever it was.
Sure.
And I'm sure that's still the case. When they say that there are 30,000 tumblers, there are not 30,000. There are more than 30,000.
Listen, I'm not going to say it out loud, but I may have gotten a cribbage board and I did not go to the game.
See, that I hate you for fair. Because I don't have one and I like stuff.
Yeah.
But
I like cribbage, though.
I don't play that.
Thunder and I play cribbage.
See, I don't play it. I just wanted it to have it.
I get it.
But I agree with you on that. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that they're not just going to give it. Don't put that stress on me. Let me know if I'm going to the game. I'm getting whatever you're giving me.
So, and I hear what you're saying, and I think maybe sometimes for T-shirts or maybe in the middle of the season.
Don't even get me started on T-shirts.
Right, but for fan appreciation night, which is tomorrow night, everyone should get a tumbler. Everyone should get a tumbler for fan appreciation night. Like that, like tomorrow night specifically. I think they should have figured out a way to make that happen.
That would have been good.
Yeah. Am I supposed to know who Adam Ray is?
I don't.
Adam Ray is an American comedian, actor, and YouTuber known for his stand-up, voice acting, and impressions, particularly his popular parody of Dr. Phil. He's throwing a first pitch on Sunday.
Oh.
Is he performing? I
wonder if he's the comedian. I'm sure it's the comedian that does stuff with like Kill Tony. That is.
Yes, he's Kill Tony.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. I've seen clips on the reels of him dressed like Dr. Phil doing comedy.
What is Kill Tony?
Tony, what's his face?
Soprano?
I don't know how to say his last name, but
Hinchcliffe
is that what it says?
No, but it's a last name.
He hosts like I don't even know. I think it's on the web. I don't know, but a show where he brings up different comedians and they do sets and they talk about stuff.
So if I should know who Adam Ray is, please let me know. He like even looking at his face, like
when is he there?
Sunday throwing out the first pitch.
Okay, but that's not fan appreciation.
No, but that's the last regular season game of the year. Like,
Well, who do
have
you
them
want to do it?
Some native like
They have Miles Turner doing it on Harry Potter night.
I know
This definitely
but
feels
it's not
like
really
the
Harry Potter night. It's Harry Potter night for the 7 people who bought the
baloney. When you
who bought the package.
I disagree strongly.
Okay,
when
why?
you assign a theme to a night, it is that theme's night. They make the little graphics on the board. Star Wars night.
They say that, but then they I was at a theme night this year and they messed everything up. Like they got every graphic wrong. And it was like, and then they just forgot about it and started not doing it. It was like weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. All right, that's more. Yeah. What else you got?
That's good.
More?
That I feel better. I feel better now. I feel better for us to go on with the show. Hopefully, Mitch, you do as well.
Yeah.
And we hope that everyone's having fun with Nick and Greenfield.
Oh, yeah.
Eating some pocket pancakes.
And if you're in line, if you're at AmFan Field, we want to hear from you. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. You can shoot us a text or you can give us a call. 414-677-1250. If you're in line getting your sleeve of pocket pancakes, if you're getting out and saying hi, I guess Donald Driver's there and Derek Watt and Brian Butch and whoever, or if you're just doing the drive-through, or if you're driving past AmFan Field and you had no idea that they were doing this thing this morning.
Yep, swerve.
Yeah, swerve. Go get your pocket pancakes. They're free. You just pull up.
Yep, your boss will understand.
Yes,
maybe
they're pocket pancakes. Come on.
Also, the 262 texts in and says Adam Ray is performing this weekend at the Improv in Brookfield. So that would be
that's cool.
Why they
that's something.
He's in.
Yeah, I'm not sure that
he's in town.
I'm not sure that's enough for me. For him to throw out the first pitch at the last game of the season. Now they also
you still haven't said who you wanted instead.
Oh, so. All right. So they also are having a veteran throw out the first pitch. So I did see that, and that's and I like that. I just want like a native Milwaukeean. Like if you're gonna have a celebrity, have some native Milwaukeean celebrity throwing out the first pitch.
Okay. Well, maybe they were unavailable. I'm just saying. I don't know. No. You're putting a lot of shade on the Brewers. Whoever with the Brewers decides who throws out the first pitch.
You're the one who threw shade about Miles Turner. I like the Miles Turner.
Well,
if he's available,
they should have Miles Turner do it on Sunday.
What if Miles Turner is wearing a robe?
I'll feel a lot better.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because then I'll also learn he's a huge Harry Potter
fan. If he put on a Gryffindor robe?
Yes.
You think he's Gryffindor? Or?
I was going to say, what about if it's like Slytherin or something? Then do we have to feel different?
I mean, listen, I have a daughter who's Slytherin. So
okay.
Slytherin can be a very strong house. Not everyone from Slytherin is evil.
All right.
Remember Just Sports?
Yes. That's good. That's like a mantra of here.
Right. And that was a segment on the Long Shot podcast.
Yep.
When we were get off track, Josh would yell, Just Sports.
Just Sports.
Yep.
Just Sports. You're listening to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor should have landed now in Atlanta. Josh is the one talking to you right now. Mitch Thundernellis filling in. We are live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
when it's raining and she screams and her voice is strained and she says, "Man."
Welcome back to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Trevor Thomas is currently in Atlanta on his way to Dallas with his family. He's going to have some fun at Jerry World this weekend, hopefully enjoying a Packers victory over the Dallas Cowboys.
Let's go!
Mitch Thunder Nellis is filling in, hanging out with me. Appreciate you, buddy.
What's his family? Do you know? I don't know, Trevor. Like little kids, big kids. Do you know?
A little bit of range of kids. I said middle, not babies.
Okay,
he's past the baby stage.
Okay.
But that is Thunder, by the way. That voice you're hearing, and you can also hear him from noon to 2 on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nellis, presented by Verizon. Of course, right before that is 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Maklov, and then 2 to 5. Following Thunder is going to be Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's with Sparky and Charlie.
Yes,
and
sir.
then the fan postgame show with Tommy Wartz, 5P to 6P here on the Fan. We got a little bit of catching up to do.
Actually, today will be, because there's a Brewers game, will be the leadoff show. So it'll be Sparky from 2 to 5:30, and then the leadoff show from 5:30 to 7. And they are actually
who's doing the leadoff show?
Tommy's doing the leadoff show.
Okay, so I still get to hear Tommy's voice.
Yes, you still will hear Tommy.
Well, that's all I care
and
about.
I will actually not be in the Mason Crosby show today because I'm on the leadoff show with Tommy today instead.
Wow.
So I'm like, you know, I'm
all right. So
I'm the
everything I
bookends.
just read is a lie for today. But for the
today.
most part,
in general, it's real.
That's great, and you should you should still write that down
You should
and
be
appreciate
listening
it.
6A to 6P anyway. And if it's 6P, we're in the middle of the leadoff show. You shouldn't just change the station. You should keep listening.
If you missed the morning mind dump, I feel bad for you, son. But here is the big takeaway. We talked about things happening with the Brewers in this final series, starting with the pancake breakfast celebration that they are doing this morning, literally from 6 to 9, the same time that the show is on. And we put it out there. We put the bat signal out. We said, hey, if you're there, let us know. 262 texted in and said the pancake event by the Milwaukee Brewers was very well organized. Kudos to the Brewers. That was not a cheap gimmick to draw fans out. Well, thank you very much to the 262 for letting us know on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Please let us know your opinions on how that's going. And if you're there right now, 414-677-1250. That again, 414-677-1250. Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line. Also,
yep, go ahead.
Our producer for 9 to noon, Brandon Snide, texted me.
Okay.
He said, first of all, he's coming from Caledonia.
B Snizzle.
And so he apologized.
Has anybody ever called him B Snizzle?
I don't know.
Okay.
You can ask him later.
Yeah, we'll find out.
He said, sorry, I can't help you out, Mitch.
What do you mean?
Get over there.
You're coming from Caledonia.
Yeah, but
you pass. Oh, because you're dipping under 894.
Correct.
Got
correct.
It. Okay. Yep. No, that makes sense. That's
so
right.
he's not gonna be able to help you, but he did help me.
Okay.
By answering the question of why the hell is Miles Turner throwing out that first pitch?
Oh,
huge Harry Potter fan.
Well, there you go. I knew he was a Lego guy. I should have said that because I feel like that's a good Venn diagram, Lego and Harry Potter. Because I know that Little Rumble, she has like set upon set of Harry Potter Lego stuff in our basement.
Yes.
And it's like awesome. It's very cool. So that makes sense that a Lego guy would be a Harry Potter guy.
So I'm expecting him then to be in uniform a little bit.
Can he do a little levitatus and like get the ball there without throwing it? Like
no. But that would be cool because of the theme and the Harry Potter thing. I'm with you on that. But at least I know it's not just random.
Yeah.
Right? You know, they had this theme night and they found a guy that loves Harry Potter in there. They're having him throw out the first pitch.
Yay or nay on maple syrup?
What?
I mean, like real maple syrup, or do you get the fake stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm a snob.
Sorry.
I'm a snob.
Oh.
I want the real, either Wisconsin or Vermont, like real maple syrup in the glass jar. Like I don't want the fake stuff in a plastic or like it tastes. They're literally two separate completely things.
Yep, and they both taste delicious
on pancakes. One is fake disgustingness and one is amazingness.
Yep, and I am good with both of them.
Yeah, all right. Well, 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
You're going to want to make sure to stick around for our next segment, by the way. Mo Egger from Afternoons on ESPN 1530 in Cincinnati is going to join us and talk to us about the Reds coming to town and kind of this feeling. And one thing I want to ask him, Mitch, is kind of how Cincinnati views Milwaukee and the Brewers. Because Trevor and I were talking about this yesterday on the show when we were looking at like our rivals and how we feel about these other teams that are potentially going to end up playing the Brewers, depending on how things shake out in the NL postseason. And we both were kind of like, I don't think I hate Cincinnati. I don't think there's anything.
Why would you hate Cincinnati?
The Reds that makes me upset.
Yep.
And I said, I think it's because for a long, long time, the Brewers have had the Reds number.
Okay.
We've never really had to be mad at them. They've never stopped the Brewers for doing anything.
I mean, I was a little sad when Scoots went there and hit like 100,000 home runs.
Brent Suter's is there now.
Yeah, that didn't
matter.
Well, if he was dominant there, it would matter to me. Like Scooter was really good there for a couple seasons.
Okay, it's not like Scooter Jeanette sent them to anything. It's not like
right.
So I feel like from our standpoint, we don't really hate the Reds. But how do the Reds feel about the Brewers? Because we don't hate them because we've crushed them.
Right.
So do they not like us for that reason?
Or are they jealous of us that like we figured out how in a small market to win and Cincinnati keeps getting it wrong? Although they do seem to be like getting better. Like they are not eliminated and it's last weekend of the year.
Nope.
Like they are at least moderately relevant right now.
But if they get eliminated, the Milwaukee Brewers would be the ones to do it.
Yep.
And so is this another situation? You know, it's always so easy to just look at it from your team's angle. Of
course.
You know, why I hate the Cardinals, because the Cardinals are always the team that eliminates the Brewers and ruins all of my hopes and dreams. They did it in 82. They did it in 2011. Hate the Cardinals.
Yeah, hate the Cardinals.
But the Cardinals don't look at the Brewers that way.
No.
Because they're always the ones doing the eliminating.
Right. They probably think the Brewers are annoying.
Correct.
But they don't look at it the same way.
So is that how the Reds and the Reds fan base look at the Milwaukee Brewers? We're going to ask Mo Egger that and more
real quick
in the next segment.
You into the Ryder Cup?
I'm into it happening. I have not been following it like super religiously, but USA.
Yeah. We are through 6. The first group which was Justin Thomas and Bryson DeChambeau are 1 up through 6. There are 4 matches going on right now. U.S. is 1 up in 2 of them. Europe is 2 up in the other 2. So, but still kind of, or very early. But
Too early to call.
Farmingdale, New York.
Yes.
And Bethpage,
where the Ryder Cup is taking place.
I know that Mason Crosby is like locked in right now.
Yeah, of course. The man loves golf. You should be locked in to the Wisconsin Sports Weekend Show and Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, who are going to be broadcasting live from the Milwaukee area Napa Car Care Fair this Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. The first 50 cars receive a coupon for a free oil change. You can win prizes like a new set of hand-cooked tires, gift cards, movies, and movie baskets, and more. Free hot dogs from 10:30 to 12:30, free vehicle inspections all day long. The Car Care Fair is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Napa Auto Parts Store on 108th and Greenfield. For details, go to thefanmilwaukee.com. All right, as I said, Mo Egger from Afternoons on ESPN 1530 in Cincinnati is going to join us when we come back on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 1057 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Hey, everybody, want to remind you about my friends from Underdog. Football season's in full swing. Underdog's the best place to get all the action. Make your picks, win money right now in Wisconsin. I'm so excited for this slate of football games this weekend. I think Lamar Jackson is going to go higher in all his numbers against Kansas City. I actually think Patrick Mahomes is probably going to go under unless the Chiefs are losing. And then you got to figure out, like, is he going to have to pass? Isaac Pacheco might be a good guy to go lower his number. But again, Josh Jacobs. I just love Josh Jacobs against the Cowboys. I think the Packers are really going to figure out the running game. But Jordan Love's probably going to throw a couple touchdowns as well. So the Packers could score a lot of points this weekend. Be ready for that. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code ThunderMKE to score $100 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code ThunderMKE. Underdog, make picks, win money, must be 18 or over and present in Wisconsin. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Trevor in Atlanta now, going to Dallas this weekend. Mitch Thunder Nellis from the Mason Crosby Show, which you can listen to noon to 2, filling in.
Hi.
Hanging out with me. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, Josh.
Appreciate you being here.
You bet.
I'm also very appreciative for our next guest, Mo Egger, who does afternoons on ESPN 1530 in Cincinnati, is joining us right now on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Hello, Mo. How are you?
I'm good, fellas. What's up?
Well, we have some questions for you as the Cincinnati Reds play baseball in Milwaukee this evening in a series
Relevant
that
baseball
we care about, but you and Cincinnati care about much, much more. First of all, thank you so much for joining us. What is the overall feeling around the Cincinnati Reds team with 3 games to play?
Well, around the team, I think there's confidence. Terry Francona, the one thing I think he has done successfully here all season long, and I think it's really, really helped this club is, he has, and it's really cliche, right? One game at a time, you roll your eyes every time you hear it. But there has been a singular focus all season long on today's game. And I think the reason that's important with this team is I can't tell you how many times they have lost a game, and sometimes in just absolutely gut-punching fashion, where it felt like, okay, season's about to circle the drain. That's pretty much it. And they win the next day. And so they lost a pair of heartbreaking games against the Pittsburgh Pirates on Tuesday and Wednesday, came back yesterday and won. Nick Lodolo, the starting pitcher, was terrific. Noelvi Marte, who they just converted into a right fielder midway through the season.
What a catch.
Game-saving
What
catch.
a catch.
Amazing, yes. We played that earlier.
Catch, season-saving catch. And so, look, they know they have their work cut out for them. Nobody needs to remind anybody there how the Brewers have had their way with the Reds for a very long time. Everybody understands they're going to need some help from the Miami Marlins this weekend. But I think this team feels good about itself. I think this team is coming to Milwaukee, believe it or not, with a dose of confidence. We can discuss whether or not they should because of who they're not pitching this weekend and what they don't do offensively. But I think the team itself feels pretty good. I think fans look at this with some degree of trepidation because, let's face it, it's the Reds, right? If they can break your heart, they will. Oftentimes this season, the opposite of what I just described has been the case. Every time you feel like, okay, they're about to take off, they kind of get in their own way, which is often what happens when you have a team that has offensive deficiencies. And so I think when you take the Reds' recent and even not so recent history with the Brewers and combine that with the fact that offensively, they're just not very good, for lack of a better way of putting it. And I think most fans would tell you they're skeptical that they can go to Milwaukee, and if they need to sweep the series, get 3 consecutive wins.
So speaking of the rivalry, if there is one between Milwaukee and the Reds, I was talking about this a little bit earlier in the show with Mitch over here, and I was like, I don't feel like out of all the teams that the Brewers may end up playing at some point in the postseason, that the Reds, there isn't a lot of juice there from a rivalry standpoint. And I realized I might just be saying that because the Brewers have had success against the Reds. How does the Reds fan base feel about the Brewers and Milwaukee?
I think with a degree of envy and admiration, to be honest with you. Like, let's be honest, the Brewers have been really good now for a long time. For the most part, the Reds haven't been. And so for a rivalry to take shape, you need high-stakes games that matter. The Reds and Brewers really haven't played in many. They had that series of games in 2021 where the Reds, there was a wraparound series before the All-Star break and after the All-Star break. And those were kind of big games. I remember going up to Milwaukee for those games and seeing a fair amount of Reds fans there. But I don't know that a rivalry has taken shape just because the two teams really haven't been equals. I think that's a really interesting question from the standpoint of I'm not sure who the Reds' biggest rival is. Back in the 70s, it was the LA Dodgers because they were in the same division. In the early 2010s, there was some Reds Cardinals juice because of some bad blood between the teams. Dusty Baker and Tony La Russa didn't like each other. Brandon Phillips once started a riot with the Cardinals in a game in 2010. There was some shared connections. Walt Jocketty, the two teams were in some pretty decent postseason chases, but that's been a while now. I don't know that the Reds have a true rival right now, because you really can't have one until you start to play in games that really, really matter. I would imagine that if the Brewers effectively eliminate the Reds from the postseason, like they did in 1999 effectively, that people still talk about to this day, that you'll have some people who work up some distaste for the Milwaukee Brewers. But I also think, like, everybody always talks about baseball's economics, and you hear it all the time, right? Like every time the Dodgers or Mets or Phillies or Yankees go and spend a lot of money, people hear, as I'm sure they do in Milwaukee, go, well, see, you just can't compete. Can't compete with the Dodgers. And my take is always, that's cool, you can't be the Dodgers. Why can't you be the Milwaukee Brewers? And I think Reds fans have kind of started to look at it that way from that standpoint. Like, all right, well, the Brewers are good every year. They don't have the Dodgers payroll. They're in our division. Why can't we be that? And I think when you bring up Milwaukee's club, that's what most Reds fans say. That's what our ownership should be doing. That's what our baseball operations people should be doing. That's the club that we should aspire to be. And so I think there's some envy, and I think there's some perhaps begrudging, but still admiration.
Mo Egger, ESPN Radio in Cincinnati, joining us here on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan. Use the word should there a lot, like what the Cincinnati Reds should be doing. Is there a feeling, regardless of how this season ends, that the Reds are headed in the right direction? Organizationally, certainly with Tito there, that makes sense. But as an organization, with the number of young players, does it feel like the momentum has shifted?
Kinda. I think there is a degree of excitement about the young nucleus they have. Now, let's look at that young nucleus. The starting pitching has been terrific, but a lot of those guys that coming into the season, you thought we're going to make the backbone of a good team this year, younger players, simply haven't been very good this season. Matt McClain, even Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie has had a nice year. He hasn't had the sort of year that, frankly, this team has needed him to have. He's often been a disaster in the field. He went from July or June 23rd to last Saturday, hitting just one home run. They thought their corner infield thing was going to be settled with Jeimer Candelario and Christian Encarnacion Strand. Jeimer Candelario got cut back in May. Christian Encarnacion Strand got demoted this summer, wasn't called up when they expanded the rosters. And so I think most Reds fans would tell you this, that they are starting from a good place and that the organization is in a better place than it has been in a while. But there is still a total lack of faith in ownership specifically and in the front office to take what they have and successfully build around it. And that's economic. There are still a lot of folks who are angry at ownership for, trading away Eugenio Suarez and Luis Castillo and Jesse Winker and a lot of guys who, the fans wish they would have invested in. So I think they look at it and go, well, they're building from a good place with the starting pitching. Tito Francona is obviously a Hall of Fame manager, but we just don't quite trust this front office to get it over the goal line. And I think that's very fair. I think even when you look at this team this year, my take on the Reds coming into the season was they're going to be an 83-win team. And I have a pretty good chance of being right. And I don't say that to pat myself on the back, but I think there was a real sense of, okay, this offseason, they've acquired some players, but they haven't done enough. Kind of felt like an incomplete offseason. They didn't go get that one bat that can make a difference. And whether that's reluctance, whether that's inability, it doesn't matter. I think because of that, and because they haven't won in so long, it's been 30 years since they advanced in the postseason. This ownership group's been in place for nearly 20 years. I think there's apprehension and skepticism, quite frankly. And so I think if this team falls short and Sunday's their last game, I don't know that most fans are going to view this as, well, the start of something, a step you have to take before you're really good next year. I think most are going to go, you know what? We're tired of waiting and wonder how much longer they're going to have to wait.
Mo, thank you so much for jumping on today. We'll definitely have you back in a couple of weeks. I know the Bengals are coming to Lambeau. Things haven't gone the way Bengals fans wanted. We don't have time to get into Joe Burrow right now, but we will definitely have you back on in a couple of weeks to preview that game.
I look forward to it.
All right.
Thank
Mo
you so
Egger,
much.
Yep, Mo Egger, ESPN Radio in Cincinnati.
All right. And with that, when we come back, we still got a jam-packed show, including Andy Herman. From Pack-A-Day Podcast. It is the last
that guy.
Inside Wisconsin sports show before the Packers face Dallas. It is time to talk about the Packers and this game. And we are going to do so next here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
You know, I think Dallas loves me. You know, I think they're going to give me a good round of applause. And, you know, there's no hard feelings there, at least for me. And I think it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a great atmosphere. I think, you know, this is some of the best football you're going to get in Dallas on this Sunday night against, you know, a rivalry opponent.
That was Micah Parsons, who will be taking on his former team in the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday night with the Green Bay Packers. Trevor Thomas will be there. He is not here now. You are listening to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm Josh Albrecht. I'm joined with Mitch Thunder Nellis.
Hi.
He, of course, is part of the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nellis, presented by Verizon, which you can hear from noon to 2 on these very airways. We're very grateful to have you guys with us. We've had a jam-packed show. We want to thank Mo Eggers for just joining us, talking about the Cincinnati Reds, which have made their way to Milwaukee as they play this evening, the start of a 3-game series that will determine if they get to continue playing baseball into October or not.
Relevant baseball being played at AmFam Field this weekend, not just by our Milwaukee Brewers, but the Cincinnati Reds. 1 game behind the New York Mets for the final wild card spot with the tiebreaker. So essentially, they just need to they need to catch up. They need to gain 1 game on the Mets. We'll see how that goes this weekend. Did you know that Micah Parsons is a bowler, Josh?
I did not know that.
Yes. Apparently, he's a great shooter when it comes to basketball.
Okay.
He's good at ping pong.
All right.
And good at bowling. And he has taken some significant coin from his teammates in all 3 of those activities.
So he's just a multi-talented athlete.
Yes. He also likes to rub quarterbacks' faces into the dirt and make them eat the grass.
So let's get into this. And the Green Bay Packers, obviously very excited about what's happening with the Milwaukee Brewers. Keep an eye on that. But this is still a big game coming up in Dallas. And we have been talking about it all week. But it is important to see now on Friday where people's feelings are on this game. This is kind of your last chance, if you listen to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, to get that text in of your thoughts and feelings, final feelings going in to Sunday Night Football as Micah Parsons makes his return to Jerry World and will take on the Dallas Cowboys with the Green Bay Packers. Let us know how you're feeling on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250.
Our friends at the Potawatomi Sportsbook have this game as Packers -6.5. Packers 6.5-point favorites. Over under are 47.5. Packers money line -345, which is a pretty significant favorite to win the game. So whether it's our friends at the Potawatomi Sportsbook or our friends in the desert in Las Vegas, the conventional wisdom Sunday 7:20 p.m. kickoff in Dallas is that the Packers are a pretty decent favorite in this game. That 6.5 number. I always worry about a 6.5 number, Josh, because that's kind of like the suckers bet. They're like, oh, they're favored by 6.5, so all they have to do is win by a touchdown. So then everybody bets on the Packers because they have to win by a touchdown, and then the Cowboys end up covering. I hate that.
Sure.
But if you've watched football over the past 3 weeks, the Cowboys are a mess. Yeah, the Packers slipped up in Cleveland, but I think the prevailing thought is that the Packers are still really good. They just have some more work to do to become who we want them to become. But I'm trying to figure out in what universe I could be worried about this game.
So my feelings on this game and what I've said throughout the week is, and I wish LaFleur could say it, but I know he can't. I mean, he could, but he won't.
Right.
Is that
that's a good way to put it.
This game is simply just an opportunity to prove that last week was a fluke. This is a game that you can go back out and say what you saw in weeks 1 and 2 is what this team truly is. What you saw last week was the outlier. That was the fluke.
Mm-hmm.
That's the opportunity they have there, because that's exactly what should happen.
Yeah.
Out of all of the all the games that have happened so far through the first 3 weeks, this should be the easiest game that the Packers have had to have up to this point. The Cowboys have their own injuries. They have their own faults, their own things that they're having to work on. Obviously, coming into this game, not on a high note after getting routed by the Bears.
Yep. And CeeDee Lamb getting hurt.
And so they're going through a lot of things themselves. We played messages or different sound clips.
Yep.
Thank you, of the stations down there in Dallas saying that they are terrified for this game. They don't like that this game is a Sunday night featured national game that everyone gets to see because it could lead to a bad look. All of those things are what have me worried, because you can't focus on that, right? If I hear Matt LaFleur say...
But you have thing after thing after thing, and they all say, this is why the Packers should win. This is why, everything's in the Packers' favor.
Which makes me go, and how often then does that happen?
Yep.
How often does everything say that one team should win, and then that's exactly how it goes? That's not what happens.
No,
that's why it's sports.
It goes the other way, right?
So anything can happen. Don't get overconfident, especially if you're Matt LaFleur, okay? Matt LaFleur saying earlier in the week in a presser that, hey, apparently I tell you guys this more than I tell our team, but, we got it's every week. We just got to go 1-0 every week, blah, 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 focus on okay, I hope this week you said it a lot to the team, because that has to be the focus. You can't be worrying about what happens after Dallas. You can't have these guys already looking forward to that bye. You have to keep the pressure on right now and go and prove exactly what you're supposed to do in Dallas.
Yeah. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. If you want to share your thoughts, is there anything you are concerned about going into the Sunday night game? Because again, when you run the list of all the things going on with our Packers and with the Dallas Cowboys, it sure feels like everything is pro-Packer. Everything is anti-Cowboy. I know that Mason Crosby was on Dallas radio yesterday morning, and they were ripping on Jerry, and they were upset about Jerry, and thinking, almost laughing at the situation that the Cowboys are in now, because they have no other choice. If they're not going to laugh, they're going to cry.
Right.
If you're a Cowboys fan right now. Josh, I saw you with your hand raised.
Yes, I did. I have worries.
Mr. Albrecht, in
yes,
the back.
Thank you.
Yes.
I can always find a worry or two.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Mine are on the offensive side of the ball only.
Of the Green Bay Packers?
Yes.
Okay, what do you got for me?
Well, first, keep in mind that we are going to be talking Packers with Andy Herman of the Pack Day Podcast coming up very shortly in the next segment.
Yep.
And I'm hoping that he can give me some answers and some more details on a lot of this. But injuries on the offensive side, especially the O-line, are going to be a concern. Can Josh Jacobs and this running game get going? That is going to be a concern. And I'm still trying to figure out just Jordan Love, everything that we expected and usually see from this offense was not there last week. And so I need to see, literally, I'm going to have a list as I watch this game with check boxes that need to be checked off from this offense during this game in Dallas. I'm not solely counting on our defense to win this game, because the defense cannot constantly be on the field. We learned that in Cleveland. Even if our defense is elite, they still need to be on the sidelines once in a while. And I understand that the Dallas defense is not the Cleveland defense. I understand that.
Yeah.
But they still have to be out there, take the ball down the field, have some drives that give the time of possession arrow to the Packers.
That would be nice. You talk about the offensive line and Josh Jacobs. Zach Tom already announced that he's not playing. We don't know how the rest of the guys are going to bounce around and figure out, what with Banks playing.
It does not appear that he's going to play. So that's
Jordan Morgan slides in there.
Yep.
With Belton, with Kennard, how that works out. I do believe that they are really going to try to get Josh Jacobs going, really try to establish the run. But it might not be the right, it might not be the right setup based on the offensive line. The offensive line was such a mess against Cleveland. And yes, Cleveland's front is totally different than Dallas. If Cleveland's front just had a mid offense,
sure.
They're a 500 team easy. And they don't have that. So we'll see what happens in Cleveland. Dallas's defense is bankrupt. I mean, Dallas's defense is an absolute joke. Caleb Williams sliced through them like hot butter. And so I think the Packers offense should be able to get some things done. I think we'll see Matthew Golden get loose. I think Romeo Doubs will get loose. But the question is, can the line protect Jordan Love? Can it get something going on the ground? Because we've seen, Josh Jacobs is like third in the league in rushing attempts. And I mean, and when you look at his yardage per game, he's right in the middle. Like other guys that are passing, his yards per attempt are way down. And so what can they do against a bad defense, knowing that your offensive line is banged up? And what will this, what can this establish so that whether it's Sunday night, then going into the bye, can they get guys back healthy? Can they find some camaraderie? Can they find some chemistry on that offensive line? Because if Jordan Love has happy feet, if he's rushing things, if they can't establish the run game, this offense still has enough to score points, but it's not going to be the type of well humming machine that we want it to be.
Correct. Now, I also gave Matt LaFleur a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, saying that part of the reason why the offense might have struggled is I think that LaFleur is very good at scheming, and he schemed a lot of that game, assuming that Zach Tom, Aaron Banks, that he was going to have those boys in there. And then, obviously, as we know, Zach Tom went down in the first play of the game. That changes everything based on the fact that you were going up against Cleveland's defense. So knowing that Tom was out, I'm hoping, and giving him the benefit of the doubt that this week against Dallas, he has everything locked in. There aren't as many variables that can change immediately that would throw all caution to the wind and have him have to kind of go off the cuff here and go against the scheme that he would have put together. Hopefully that's what happens.
Where do you fall on the Jordan Love -meter? Like, he's okay, he's mid, he's better than that, he's good, he's great, he's amazing.
He's good, he's definitely not great.
He can be great, or are you a little skeptical on that?
So I think he's good, not great. And I say that because I watch other teams and their quarterback. I'm taking Jordan Love 10 times out of 10 over Sam Darnold or Kyler Murray.
Okay.
I'm not. So in that case, absolutely. However, I'm not going to go out there and say that he's an elite quarterback. I don't think he's playing like one.
Yep.
Absolutely. I don't think he's had that the last couple seasons or last season especially.
Yep.
So, but I think that that's okay. I don't think that we need to be in a situation where our quarterback needs to be a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Right.
As long as the rest of the team is well-rounded, which coming into this with Micah Parsons, coming into the season, that's what I thought we had. That's what they showed the first two games. That's why everyone went, oh, this is not just an elite quarterback on the Green Bay Packers team that's going to put up 45 points, and hopefully the defense can stop from 46 points being scored. This was a well-rounded team, and then they ran into Cleveland. So that's why I said, and I will stick with the fact that this game is the Cleveland was a fluke game.
Yeah.
You need to prove that. You can't just go out there. It can't be close. You can't make the same mistakes. Everything in this game has to be the way it was in weeks 1 and 2.
Well, and I don't know that I want to use the word fluke. I more want to use the word Cleveland was a learn a lesson game.
No, I'm sorry.
Cleveland
can't be that way.
But I think it can, because I think it's the when guys are talking about going undefeated and LaFleur coming, like you need to know that you need to play football. Like when you play, we've made such a big deal over the past 2 months that when a team plays baseball against the Brewers, you need to play baseball because the Brewers play baseball. They play baseball for 27 outs. They put pressure on you the entire game. They come out and play baseball. And I think what the Packers realized on Sunday is they need to play football. Like you need to actually play football. You can't just show up and think you're better than somebody else. You need to actually play football. And if they learned that lesson, if they learned it early in this season, that I don't care when you learned it in the season, but learning it early in the season gives you time to make the appropriate changes that they now will go into Dallas. They all watched the film from last Sunday. They know Dallas stinks.
Yes.
Because Dallas stinks. But they're not going to go into Dallas the same way they went into Cleveland thinking, oh, we're going to win. they're going to go in now saying, we need to play football to win. And I think that's a lesson they needed to learn.
There are too many things that happened in that game for me to not categorize it as either this is your true identity or this was a fluke. You can't have 14 penalties. You can't have the amount of sacks that Jordan Love was hit with. You can't have all of those things all have happened and then say, hey, here's a few things you just have to focus on. You're identifying your team. Your team already set your identity in the first two, and then it was immediately questioned.
Yeah.
That's why this game is you're either proving to the fan base, to the national media, to anyone who's paying attention to the Packers, that either you were correct in the way that you identified this Packers team in the first two games, or you were wrong the way that you identified this Packers team in the first two games.
I don't think anybody was wrong. I just think
the way that this team played in week 3, I would say they're wrong if that continues in week 4.
Overall, yes, I think the defense is still who we thought they were.
Sure.
The defense is still dominant. The defense is still great. I mean, the defense gave up 3 points, right? In the game, the defense gave up 3 points. They gave up 7 after an interception, and they gave up the field goal after a blocked field. That was on the teams. And so they gave up 3 points. And I think that defense will continue to be the defense all season long. I think that's
not the identity of the team.
Well, but I think there's still questions then about the identity. I think there are still questions about that offense.
Because people weren't saying, Mitch,
know. And that was I asked the question about Jordan Love, is that I think there are still questions about who Jordan Love is and how good he can be.
People were not saying this Packers team is as good as their defense, and all of that. That was not the identity. The identity of this team was not Packers defense good with Micah Parsons. The identity was this team is elite and Super Bowl bound. They don't say that just based on the defense.
But again, that's a stupid thing to say in September. That's just an irresponsible, stupid thing to say.
But it's a thing to say when your entire team is well-rounded, performing exactly as they should.
Though? Like after 2 weeks.
That's what I'm saying.
They were great 2 weeks.
Okay.
But if we were saying that after 2 weeks, we had to say that with a grain of salt, knowing that who you are in September is not who you are in November and December. And things could look completely different.
Of course they can. But identity, you just got done saying that the Cowboys stink.
They do.
The Cowboys stink. You are identifying the Cowboys as stinkers right now. You are making their no. See, you can't do that, Mitch.
I think bad is bad, but good isn't always good.
You can't just play the side of the coin you want to play.
No, but I think bad.
You created an identity
the Browns
for the
Cowboys. I can tell you the Cowboys. I can tell you the Titans. I can tell you the Saints. I can tell you the Falcons. I can tell you the Panthers. I can tell you bad is bad.
Yeah,
we don't know, but we don't know the difference between good and great yet. We don't know the difference between 0-17 and 5-12. But we know those teams are in the 0-17 to 5-12 range. We know the Packers are in the 9-7 to 13-4 range. We just don't know where in that range they are yet.
Sure, but that just because we don't know exactly how they're going to finish record-wise doesn't mean that they haven't already created an identity.
Right. Well,
the way that they
came out,
an
identity, it's defense.
See, I don't think so. I think that's the identity that people are starting to make based on what happened in week 3 in Cleveland. Before that, when they routed the Commanders that are a good team, when they took care of business against Detroit, which is a good team, which we all thought maybe Detroit fell off, and then obviously not because they picked things up. People are looking at, before the season and through those first 2 games, that this Packers team is scary, well-rounded, and can find their way to a Super Bowl.
But in both those first 2 games, they had drives in the second half where they showed their old tendencies, where they were not that well-rounded offensive team that they needed to be. And it was still the defense, because in both those teams, they gave up fourth quarter touchdowns that were garbage touchdowns. In both those teams, their defense was completely dominant and gave up meaningless touchdowns at the end and actually had a wider margin of victory than the final score showed. But in both those games, they had another one of those 3-and-out or whatever boneheaded offensive drives in the second half where they run the ball, where there's too much time left on the clock. So whether that's LaFleur or Love, they didn't have everything on offense buttoned up the way they needed to make me think that this was really a well-rounded team yet, but I think they can get there.
We're going to continue this conversation with Andy Herman of Pack-A-Day Podcast on the other side. I want to let you know that Sports Talk on the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We are very excited to bring on our next guest on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. It is Andy Herman from Pack-A-Day Podcast, joining Mitch Thundernellis and myself on a Friday before the Packers and the Cowboys Sunday night. Andy, thanks so much for being here. How we doing?
Fellas, it's an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for having me. Excited to chat some Packers with you guys.
So right out the gate, Thunder and I just got done having quite an argument here about what this game means for the Packers. Obviously, the narrative changes completely if they lose this game. But going into the game, what it means and how it identifies this team, I think, is what we're disagreeing on. I'm sitting here saying this team was identified as a well-rounded, Super Bowl-bound team. Mitch saying that should not have been the case if it was, and that the only identity this team really should have had is on their defense, and that the offense was always a question mark.
Work in progress.
Where do you stand, Andy Herman, on the identity of this team before Cleveland? What was that identity, and where do you think they are post Cowboys game
today?
Okay. So I think I probably split the difference somewhere between both of you. I'll fast forward and skip your question for a second and just say, as of right now, this is a defensive first team. Their identity is defense. And I think, to Mitch's point, I think their offense is, I would say, it's sort of work in progress. I think last week was a little bit of a blip in the radar. I don't expect that to be the norm by any stretch of the imagination. I also think no Zach Tom, Aaron Banks getting, it's not healthy and going out again midway through that game. No Christian Watson, no Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft a little bit banged up. I think that's clouding some of the vision on offense as well. I think the offense is going to be totally fine, but I do believe that this is going to be a team that this defense is what dictates them all season long for kind of the remainder of the season. Not to say that the offense can't have games or whatever, that they lead the way, etc. I will say, going into the Cleveland game, I think it was probably a little bit more of kind of that well-rounded mentality, but I think we already saw hints in the first 2 weeks that this defense is something special and that they are probably going to lead the way in some way, shape, or form. But I do think going into that Cleveland game, and I still believe this to a large extent, even though we didn't see it this past weekend, I do believe that the best teams are the ones that can win different games regardless of the flavor of game that you're in. And I know that this is going to sound very, just counterintuitive based on what we saw a week ago, because we saw a game where they got punched right in the face and they couldn't win that game. They had adversity in that game and they couldn't win that game. But I think what that game, to me, sort of proved and reiterated is that if even this is a drag it out, complete brawl of a game where you've got to win, 10-9 or 13-10, they have every right winning that game. They should have won that game, even in that scenario. Yes. That is not a game in most seasons that Green Bay has any opportunity to win. If the other team holds Green Bay's offense to 10 points, they have zero chance of winning that game. And in that one, they, even with the catastrophic interception, even with the offense not scoring, if they just kick a 45-yard field goal at the end, they win that game. So I think this is a team that is going to have the ability down the road, like in Dallas this week. If Dallas puts up, I'd be somewhat surprised, but if Dallas puts up like 27, 24 points in this game, would it be totally stunned without CeeDee Lamb? Maybe. But if Green Bay puts up 28-30, they can win that style of game. So I think it's going to evolve as the course of the season goes along. But if I had to hang my hat on something where the identity of this team is for the remainder of the season, this defense is special. I think they're the best in the league. I think they haven't even started generating turnovers at the level that I think they're going to be capable of at some point. I think this is an extremely scary defense, and I think that's going to lead the way for the remainder of the season.
Andy, a lot of the media and just overall feeling around this game, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, is it's all Packers, right? The betting lines have it as Packers. The fact that the Packers have played very well in Dallas kind of gives them the edge. Does it worry you a little bit that there isn't anything really out there that would say, well, Dallas could win the game because of X? It makes me a little scared, because it's like, when was the last time you heard everything favored one way and then that team ended up doing exactly what they were supposed to do?
Yeah, I would certainly rather be on this side, right, where you seemingly have every advantage than
Very
on the
good
opposite
point. Yeah.
side. No question about it. But I totally feel it. Sometimes those big game feels like the first two, Detroit and Washington, it felt kind of great going into them because like this could go either way. You don't know what's going to happen and swing one way or the other. You go into Cleveland, you're expecting great things, and you're going to go into Cleveland and hopefully win that thing easy, and then it kind of blows up in your face, right? I think the big thing is you want to see Green Bay learn their lessons from a week ago, and that's in multiple ways. That you've still got to play every team like it is Cleveland and Washington, that you have to play much better on the offensive line, and that you can't lay a complete egg on special teams. Like if those things repeat themselves this week, it is going to be Dallas that has a real chance to win this game. Dallas probably has a special teams advantage with the best kicker in football, best kick returner, or not best kick returner in the game, in this specific game in Turpin. Same thing at punt returner. So Dallas probably has a little bit of an advantage there. Like this is the same thing where if you have a catastrophic turnover, don't play well on special teams, and your offensive line can't protect, Dallas can put the same exact blueprint together to some extent that Cleveland did a week ago, obviously with a much less defense than they had, but a little bit better offense, no question about it. But I still like Green Bay by quite a bit in this game. And I do think too, it is kind of like we were just talking about in the season. You have to be able to win different games. I think even in this game, I think if this is a game where Green Bay has to put up points, I think they can. If they need to get in a drag out brawl, I think they can. I think they can win in a variety of different ways in this one, but I'm sure Dallas is going to be extra motivated because of the whole Micah thing. It is in Dallas, although I guarantee there's going to be a lot of Packers fans there. And I just think this is probably a bit of desperation for Dallas after really losing to Philly week one, losing a brutal game to Chicago in week 3, and not playing great and kind of looking ugly in week 2 against Giants, even though that they won that game. So I think Dallas is going to try to pull out some things in this game that maybe they haven't over the course of the first few weeks.
Andy Herman joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. Andy, great to see you. Great to hear
Likewise,
you,
buddy.
I'm worried about the offensive line, and I know that Zach Tom's not going to play. We'll see what Banks, if he can't go. The bye's coming up. Hopefully that'll get guys healthy, but I'm kind of worried about that whole concept of chemistry and continuity and how guys are playing with each other. Like with some of these backups playing, with Jordan Morgan bouncing around to 7 different, there's only 5 positions on the offensive line, and he's played 7 different positions on the offensive. Like how does this offensive line find some of that continuity even with injuries?
Yeah, so the couple things. I mean, not only Banks and Zach Tom, but now Anthony Belton doesn't practice yesterday either, so his status is in flux. So now you're probably bringing in Darian Kennard at one of those spots if both Belton and Banks can't go as well.
Right.
I think if there's any small positive, it's that you've probably now practiced, because Banks and Tom have been out all week. You've probably practiced, Rasheed Walker at left tackle, Morgan at left guard. At center, you've got Elton. At right guard, you've got Sean Ryan, and you probably have put now in, Kennard in for Belton with him being out. You've been able to probably practice this offensive line together all week long for the most part, outside of maybe the Belton Kennard situation. So hopefully they get a little bit of that continuity through the course of this week in practice. It's not like you're going out there with Zach Tom for one play and then he's going to come out. Hopefully they don't have an injury in this one that separates it. They can't handle it, right? Like Donovan Jennings and Brant Banks are the next 2 up if you have an injury.
You could have made up any 2 names there, and I would have said, yeah, that's who they got after those guys.
Right. Wait. All right. So there's Lacita Smith after that. And then can you name the only other offensive lineman that is healthy on the practice squad? If either of you can, I'm getting you a gift card to Duncan.
Bo Melton.
Yeah.
It might as well be.
Yeah.
The only other one that is on this team, and even I have to look it up because even I cannot remember it off the top of my head, is Dalton Cooper. Dalton Cooper is
Cooper. Yeah, that's right. I knew that. Yeah.
If he gets elevated, do they have to change his and Edrin's? Like, do they have to put a D Doc Cooper on it?
Yeah, they might have to. So so the long story short here is this is absolutely something that is a massive issue for Green Bay based on the way they played last week. The good news is the first 2 weeks, the offensive line didn't look anywhere near that bad. They didn't look good, especially in run blocking, but they didn't look anywhere near that bad. I think a lot of that is Cleveland's defensive front and the pressure they can put on you. The better news is that Dallas does not have that sort of defensive line. They've got some, Oso Odighizuwa is a solid defensive tackle on the interior. On the edge, they drafted Donovan Ezraku in the second round. He's a good player, hasn't done much yet. This is Clowney's debut. Kenny Clark's going to be motivated. Dante Fowler can certainly cause some problems. It's not completely barren, but they've done nothing so far, and this should be a bit of a bounce back. But I'll say this, Dallas is looking at this game and looking at Green Bay's offensive line and thinking the same thing for their defensive front, that this is an opportunity for their defensive front to get right and to start causing chaos against a bad Packers offensive line. So that is where my eyes are going immediately in this game, is who's winning that war in the trenches.
Got it. Andy Herman joining us, Pack a Day podcast. Follow all his stuff. Millions and millions of views on the YouTube.
That's right.
Yeah, and just does an awesome job. So with that said, and you mentioned Micah going back to Dallas, is there any way emotions get out of control at some point Sunday night? Micah makes a big hit in the first half, or there's a pancake block where he gets double teamed and they just like jump on him and give him a little extra. Or do you expect him to be able to keep that under control? How do you see that playing out between Micah and the Cowboys?
Yeah, the interesting thing is it seems like he has quite a bit of reverence for a lot of the players. He even said that it would feel weird hitting Dak Prescott, and it's going to just take him kind of a second to kind of let that register a little bit. I almost think that there's not going to be that like extra, that he's trying to get after the players. And I almost think from a Cowboys standpoint, I think the Cowboys players are almost of the mind of, this is Jerry that screwed this up. This isn't Micah that screwed this up. Like their own team, like Micah wanted to stay a Cowboy. It wasn't a situation where Micah went to the Cowboys and said, get me the heck out of here. I know it eventually got to that point where he's like, I can't be here anymore. But Micah wanted to be a Cowboy. He just bought a house in Dallas. Like he was motivated to stay a Dallas Cowboy. And the Cowboys were the ones that sort of started this whole situation where he eventually got traded to Green Bay. So if anything, I think that the Cowboys players are going to be excited to see him, not across the field, obviously, but just in general. I don't think there's going to be any extra mustard from the Cowboys offensive line on some of those hits. And I think for Micah, same thing. I think this is going to be a clean game inside of it. But at the same token, I think Micah is going to be amped up to try to get his in this game. And I think he is going to have a massive impact. And then on the flip side, I think the same thing for Kenny. I think Kenny's going to have a little bit of extra motivation to say, hey, like, I know you guys got Micah. I totally get it. I understand it. I love those guys across from me, but you bet I'm going to have my best performance to show you guys that you probably shouldn't have traded me away either. So I'm looking forward to seeing both of those players in this game.
Talking to Andy Herman from Pack a Day podcast here on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. All right, Andy, before we let you go, and I'm sure that you probably have this, it doesn't even have to be the same guess as you might do on Pack a Day podcast, but before we let you go, give us your final prediction, score prediction of how things are going to turn out in Jerry World on Sunday night.
Yeah, I was a little bit more optimistic earlier in this week. I was probably a little bit over exuberant. I'm gonna tone it down a little bit. I'm gonna say 27-16 Packers. I think Dallas puts together some drives, gets one touchdown drive. Brandon Aubrey kicks a couple of like 90-yard field goals like he's apt to do.
He's unbelievable.
He's unbelievable. He's an absolute machine. They couldn't get him in the trade too. They couldn't have offered a little bit of sweetener.
Yeah, should have.
No. So I think Green Bay gets right back to scoring exactly where they were prior to this Cleveland game. They scored 27 the two prior games. I think they get help from a over or two in this one from the defense as well to help them get going a little bit. So 27-16 Packers and win relatively easily, all things considered.
All right, real quick, Andy. I know he's under contract through summer of 26, but is there any way that AEW and WWE can just get together and just have the last match be Adam Copeland? Is there any way that it's Copeland versus Cena in December?
I would love to say yes. They're both idiots for not being able to have certain things like this happen and allow just little things back and forth, being able to use the music still, being able to use Edge rather like that would be a great thing. Like, hey, you can have Copeland for his last match. He gets to use Edge as his name moving forward. Like that would be a probably decent trade in and of itself. There's just got to be things like this. Like, can you imagine had in that WrestleMania moment last year, or was it 2 years ago now, whatever it was, when the Shield music played?
If Moxley had come in. That would have broken everyone's brain. That would have been amazing.
For Khan and Triple H to be as huge wrestling fans as they are, The fact that they can't figure out some little things, like imagine if your mystery entrant at the Royal Rumble was Kenny Omega out of nowhere. Nobody saw it coming. And on the flip side, imagine at like AEW's biggest events that like there's a mystery tag team and like all of a sudden it's the Usos that show up. It doesn't even have to be anything like unbelievable. Like imagine it's like Young Bucks and the Usos are in the same match. Like just some things like that. Like there's so many different things that it doesn't have to even be announced. You don't even have to say WWE on the AEW programming. You don't even have to say AEW on the WWE programming. Just a couple handshake deals here and there, and fans go nuts and everybody wins. It's just
everybody
stupid.
wins.
It's just stupid.
Yeah.
But like I think the fact that WWE just counter programmed AEW's what they're like second biggest event of the year, just no chance that I think it actually happens. But it would be great if it did.
All right, just wanted to catch up on that with you real quick.
I love it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andy, for joining us. Of course, for more stuff with Andy Herman, check out Pack a Day podcast. We appreciate you.
And Andy, you are the absolute best.
I love you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks, brother.
All right. And that was Andy Herman. Again, joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Coming up next on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, it is time for What's Up, Wisconsin. We want to know, what do you got going on the rest of the day? What do you have going on this weekend? Let us know what you're up to. We will talk about it. We will also tell you what you should be planning for your television, what games you need to watch, what things you should be paying attention to going into the weekend. Again, Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
What's up? Want to remind everybody about my friends at Underdog. It was a rough one last night. I got to be honest. I had Marvin Harrison Jr. He went higher. I had whatever the running back is for Seattle. I don't even care what his name is. He went higher. But then I threw in, you can pick games now. And I threw in the Cardinals. And guess what? I did not hit that one. 2 out of 3, not bad. I'll take it. And sometimes when I flex play, that would have been a winner. That would have been a nice winner last night. I didn't flex play last night. I went all in, and sometimes it happens. So I'm going to jump right back on tonight. Cannot wait. And you know it's Bryce Terang time, baby. Let's go, Bryce. Bryce and Quinn. Quinn with strikeouts, Bryce with hits. I'll figure out what else I need to do, go higher and lower, maybe throw in something from the weekend, maybe something from Georgia, Alabama. I'll figure it out, but I'm going to have a blast playing on Underdog. You should as well. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code ThunderMKE to score $100 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code ThunderMKE. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 or over in present Wisconsin. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Welcome back to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. My name is Josh Albrecht. Trevor Thomas is in Atlanta on his way to Dallas for the game. Mitch Thundernellis from the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thundernellis, presented by Verizon, has joined me today. I appreciate you coming and hanging out, pal.
Hey, Joshy.
And now is the time where we do What's Up, Wisconsin?
What's up, Wisconsin?
What's up? And we do that, and we're talking about what's going on this weekend. What do you have to look forward to? What's going on in your world? What's going on in the world of sports? I'll tell you what's going on in the world of 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan. You can join the Wisconsin Sports Weekend Show and Steve Sparky Pfeiffer broadcasting live from the Milwaukee area Napa Car Care Fair this Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m.
Let's go.
The first 50 cars receive a coupon for a free oil change. You can win prizes like a new set of hand-cooked tires, gift cards, movie baskets, and more. Free hot dogs from 10:30 to 12:30.
Delicious.
Free vehicle inspections all day. The Car Care Fair is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Napa Auto Parts Store on 108th and Greenfield. For details, go to thefanmilwaukee.com. All right.
I could eat more, but I would eat 3 hot dogs. I could eat more, but I would
But
choose to
if
eat
you go,
3.
you would
Yeah.
get 3.
Yes.
I'm going to hope they only give you 1.
Fair.
Personally. Here's what I got going on. What's up in my life today and into this weekend. So first, it's Friday, and I'm so damn happy to be able to say that I am going to Natty Oaks, and I'm getting a big old bowl of chili.
Yeah, you are.
Oh,
Yeah, you
how
are.
does that feel good?
That's great.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've been able to say that. Very much looking forward to that. Then I'm watching some sports tonight. Phillies are going to play at 5:45. I'm going to hope for a rain delay.
Yeah.
If you could have had a rain delay yesterday, give me some rain delays tonight.
Right.
Because the Brewers play at 7:10, and I'm hoping that they can somehow find a way to win it on the field.
Well, Quinn's pitching.
Give me that call.
They've won 19 straight games that he's pitched in, so Brewers should win tonight. Tonight is I'm excited. I'm going to do some music bingo at Sprecher.
Oh, very nice.
Sprecher Brewery. I'm excited for that. Eric Church, I believe, is at Fiserv Forum tonight. And tonight also at the Riverside Theater, Carrie Elwes is in town, and they are screening The Princess Bride with a Q&A.
Oh, there you go.
It's our family's all-time favorite movie. We're not going tonight, but that sounds awesome. And also want to let everybody know that our sister stations, Kiss and Mix, are going to be at the Susan G. Komen More Than Pink Walk Sunday morning. So Sunday morning, that's going to be. You can Google for all the information. It's at the Summerfest grounds. It starts at like 7:30. The opening ceremony is at 9, so go out for that and support a great cause.
I'm also very much looking forward to Saturday night. The wife and I are going to be able to celebrate with the Ronald McDonald House at their gala.
Oh, sure.
That they're having. We love working with them.
Apparently, I'm not the auctioneer for that.
No, apparently
I should be.
Apparently, you're not. But I will tell you this:
tell them I'm available.
The theme is based around like Willy Wonka and pure imagination.
That's so great.
I have a purple blazer.
Oh my gosh,
that I will be wearing. So
I have a purple suit.
I of course you do. The man loves purple. But very much looking forward to doing that and having some fun this weekend. When we talk about What's Up, Wisconsin, apparently you're not going to believe this. Trevor Thomas has joined us.
What's up, Dallas?
To say what's up, Atlanta
what's up, Dallas?
or Dallas.
What's up, Atlanta? And I have a new least favorite airport. This place
How is this new?
Disaster.
Atlanta's the worst. It's always been the worst. Like, is this your first time there?
Nobody. I didn't get the memo. Did not get the memo.
My mom got stuck there like this spring with my daughter, and it was brutal.
What happened?
It was my problem. It was my fault. I was hoping you were going to ask me that, but here goes. I booked when you go into the Delta app and you book a flight to and from Dallas.
Yep.
Did you know you need to tell it which airport you prefer on the way there and on the way back?
I did not know that.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
me neither. So we are flying into we were. I pulled some strings. I don't have any strings left. We were flying into Dallas Love. Did you know there was a Dallas Love airport?
Yes.
Me neither.
No.
Yes, I'm familiar with Dallas Love.
Not me.
Okay.
So we went to the nice, wonderful people at the Delta counter and said, so half of our party is on a flight to DFW, and we're on this flight. How do we join them?
Oh, no.
That sounds terrible.
I'm 6'8", right? And so I buy seats in comfort Comfort Plus, because that's the only chance I have.
Yep.
There was no Comfort Plus seats on the flight that we were hoping to get on. There's no seats in coach. Excuse me, especially in the exit row. And so I was like, you know what? How much is it? Excuse me, guys. If we just upgrade to first class, and he goes, let me check.
Ooh, flying first
fancy.
class.
And he checked, and it was no price increase.
No,
So
let's go. What's up? That's a huge win.
huge victory.
Well,
just like the Pack will have on Sunday night, boys. Let's be honest. It's a great start.
It's a great start. I hope things continue that way. We hope that you have a fantastic time, pal. We held down the fort here today. We plan on checking in with you on Monday morning.
I want the full chicken and pickle report, by the way.
Yes, we need the full chicken and pickle report over the weekend, not on Monday. We need that on social.
Yes.
And
all the above.
And then we will talk to you again on Monday. Enjoy the time. Thanks for giving us a little bit of time this morning.
Cheers, boys. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Thanks, Trevor. Trevor Thomas, Inside Wisconsin. Let's go.
That I'm not gonna lie, that sounded like it was gonna be awful.
Right. It ended up being great.
He completely turned that around.
Hey guys, terrible story. We booked to the wrong airport, but I got
just
first
kidding.
class.
Just kidding. We're on the right one, and now I'm in first class.
Yeah. Rough life,
Yeah.
Trevor.
Don't worry, we did the radio show. Have fun in first class.
Exactly.
Oh,
all
boy.
right, brother. That's
hey,
it.
we did it.
Yeah.
We did it. Thank you for joining us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. You got 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff coming up next. Mitch is going to be back with me on Monday. Make sure to tune into Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, because we are not done yet.